The Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, very close to being filled to capacity tonight on a marvelous evening. Number of those in this part of the world. 0-2 this season would rank number 1 and number 2. That's the situation for the Miami Hurricanes. Carlos Huerta, number 27, about to kick it off to the Orangemen with a dual safety. 44, Terry Richardson, a freshman from Fort Lauderdale. Number 45, this night. Kick is going to come down to Ismail. 1 yard deep, he'll return. Will not make it to the 20-yard line. And let's take a look at the offense for the Syracuse Orangemen. It will be Marvin Graves opening at quarterback. Behind him, Dwayne Kennan and David Walker. The wide receivers, Shelby Hill and Rob Carpenter. The tight end, Andrew Dees. The offensive front, Dan Erickson. You're probably saying, where's our All-American? Well, he's at guard tonight. McCummings will start, and Flattery moves from center to guard because of the injury to Wisdom. The tackles, Mike Bernard and Turnell Sims. Graves with a very long count, maybe an audible fumble. Miami recovers at the 18-yard line, and it's Hamlet. Anthony Hamlet.
Marvin Graves fumbles, recovered by 97. Anthony Hamlet, first down, Hurricane.
They tried to spread out this Miami defense, Ron, but they just got too much penetration early. That's what really destroys option football. Miami's defense has shut down option football in the past. Syracuse must do some things. Rusty Medeiros, good job of penetrating into the quarterback space. Graves couldn't handle it that quick.
15 scores, 30 possessions from this segment of the field for the Hurricanes. McGuire to the short side at the 10 and very close to a first down. Let's take a look at the starters on offense for the Canes tonight. Greg Erickson out of West Palm Beach opens at quarterback. Behind him, McGuire, who just carried the ball. He's at fullback. The tailback is Wesley Carroll. The wide receivers and all very good ones, Randall Hill and Lamar Thomas. Rob Chudzinski, one of the seniors, playing his last home game tonight. Darren Handy is the center. The guards, Luis Cristobal and Claude Jones, and the tackles, Mike Sullivan and Leon Searcy. Those tackles, very good ones. McGuire going to be pushed back, and he will lose yardage as Mitchell comes across number 50, the freshman out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And it's going to be a loss of about 3 in the play.
83, JoJo Wooden. The loss is 3 yards, third down and 5.
Dennis Erickson in his second season as the head coach here with the Miami Hurricanes, coming down from Washington State. Ball is placed at the 13. It will be third down, and the line to make is the 9. McGuire on the draw, hit in the backfield, and he'll be knocked down by Jim Wentworth. So the Hurricanes are going to have to come in with the field goal attempt after getting the ball in great field position at the 19.
Number 77, Jim Wentworth, and Jordan Rooks, number 91, have been sharing that right tackle spot for Syracuse. Wentworth better against the run. That's so far what Syracuse is trying to do, shut off the run early.
10 of 13 for Carlos Huerta this year, and make it 11 of 14 as he splits it. So Syracuse dodges a touchdown, but they give up the field goal on the fumble from the first play from scrimmage.
Ron, great confidence builder for the Syracuse football team. Both the offense and the defense from that stop. Now the offense can get back and say, hey, listen, guys, we turned it over, yes, but hey, look at the way our defense is playing. Let's go out and show them we can play football like our guys on the other side of the line. For the defense, their number 1 goal is to shut down that running game, and they showed they could do it in a key situation.
Celebrating 18 years in the South Florida area.
Now let's take a look at the decade as far as the Miami Hurricanes are concerned. Let's go to the 60s. 55.4% winning, 2 bowl games in the 60s, but then in the 70s, no bowls, less than 40%. But then in the 80s, 3 national titles, 8 bowl games, almost 84% winning percentage. All of that in the decade of the 80s.
Well, I think some of the credit should go to Howard Snellenberger. He turned this program around. He did it with some good, hard-nosed football, running the ball first, and then recruiting those great line of quarterbacks that he had for a while. Kelly, Kozar, and Testaverde. They all just made it go here.
Ismael and Richardson.
Kickoff. Again, it's Carlos Huerta. Seems like we just did this, and we did about 5 plays ago. It will come to Ismael again, this time at the 2. Breaks off the tackle. Caught from behind at the 25-yard line, and it's Casey Greer stopping him after a 22-yard return. Let's take a look at the Miami defense, which we did not get to show you just a moment ago. For the 4-3, Russell Maryland and Shane Curry, the defensive tackles. The defensive ends, Anthony Hamlin, who recovered that fumble, and Rusty Medeiros, who caused it. The linebacker in the middle is Michael Barrow. On the outside, Darren Smith and Maurice Crum. Cornerbacks, Roland Smith and Robert Bailey, and the safeties, Charles Farms and Darrell Williams. Running play, this is Kennan, right up the middle. 67 rather. Russell Maryland there to make the initial hit for the Hurricanes.
Key matchup in the game tonight. Right guard John Flannery, number 53, and Russell Maryland. They're going to be nose to nose, these two guys, all night. And as an offensive lineman playing against a guy like Maryland, you know you got to get ready to play, because every night he's going to get ready to play. You know, if you watch Russell Maryland on film, he plays football.
His daddy is here from Chicago. We got to visit with him yesterday afternoon. He was introduced before the ball game this evening. Option to the left as a flag goes down, and the pitch to Walker. Nice spin move. He's going to move it out across the 30. Maryland again there on the stop, and now let's check the flag.
So far, Ron, the penalty looks like it's going to be against Miami, but so far, George DeLeon.
Offside, Miami.
So far, offensive coordinator George DeLeon has tried to spread out this Miami defense. Miami is going to like to stick with the zone coverages. They do not like to play man-to-man, especially against option football. So they're going to try to spread them out and try to run that option against a little softer corner.
You're going to take the penalty here so they can have a second down and the short yardage and not have to use the yards that were picked up. And it'll put it up to the 33, so it'll be second down, and the line to make is just shy of the 35. Miami still has another game left to play after the season. They have San Diego State next week, a game that you'll see right here on ESPN.
You'll be seeing Big Dan McGuire's the brother, the thrower there.
I think there'll be a few passes in that one.
Yeah.
Bring your lunch. This time the fullback, and another flag is down as Kennan takes it for the first down.
I think it's the same call. Miami is cheating that line of scrimmage so much they're getting called for in the neutral zone. There you can see it real obviously. It's the right end, Rusty Medeiros, who's offsides just a little bit. Actually, it looks like a couple, 2 or 3 guys could have been offsides on that play. That's their attack, though, Ron. You know that they like to get close to the ball. Their defensive tackles are almost in a track stance. They want to get across. They want to penetrate with their defense and cause some problems for this option-type football of Syracuse to make some mistakes like they did in the opening series in the backfield.
And, Gary, they don't do as much reading, really. It's a search and destroy straight ahead to their zone.
A lot of different blocking combinations for the same plays. We'll see a number of different ways to run the option tonight.
First down for Syracuse, their initial first down of the night. You see the middle linebacker creeping up. Barrows, they come with the option. Graves will have a couple to the 40. Darren Smith took his feet out from under him. And then 44, Shane Curry came over to help. Coach Dick McPherson, 10th seasons at Syracuse, 65 wins.
You know, Coach McPherson said there's a way that one nice thing about playing Miami is it gets the attention to your guys. All the film was checked out all week, and they were wanting to watch it. Everybody was working hard. You know, you don't want to get on national television and get blown out. You're ready to play football when you play as somebody like this.
Second down and 8. counter option. Now Graves going to drop back to throw. Going to go long. He just puts it up very, very high to Carpenter. It is incomplete at the 15. Robert Bailey on the cover.
Graves' pass is intended for number 7, Rob Carpenter.
This pass
Robert
was thrown
Bailey.
off the option play. Little option action in the backfield. Graves comes down the line of scrimmage and simulates the option. Watch, he turns, simulates the option, and then drops back. All the linemen are behind the field. Watch Russell Maryland, though. He's going to get in his face. It was, actually, I think it was 97, Anthony Hamlet, but he throws the deep ball. The way you have to do it is throw the ball downfield to loosen up that secondary. Even an incompletion helps you later in the game.
Third down. Pressure from the outside. They set the screen to the 45-yard line, and Barrow makes a great tackle on Kennedy. He cut right in between the blockers, and Syracuse will be 3 yards shy.
There's the first look at the speed on that play. You know, Ron, we're sitting up here, and I think you and I looked at the same thing. This looked like a good football play when they drop back. Nice call here. You can see he drops back, gets the screen off very quickly. Now, look, there looks like there's some possibilities, but watch Barrow play through a block. Look at all the people in red jerseys around that ball right now. The pursuit, that's the speed that covers up for a couple mistakes.
Pat O'Neill handles the kickoffs and the punting. Kevin Williams is the deep man for the Hurricanes. Freshman from Dallas, Texas.
Number 5, Kevin Williams is deep for Miami.
Williams calls for the fair catch, and he makes it back at the 12-yard line.
Williams
44 yards in the kick. Timeout on the field. Canes by 3.
Ready? 10, 29, hot. That's right.
Hey, I can imitate almost anything, but no one can imitate the pump. The original, the pump. From Reebok.
Now, for the price of an ordinary 4x4, you can own the American legend. The new Jeep Cherokee Sport with 4 doors, shift-on-the-fly 4-wheel drive, and a new high-output 4-liter engine. It's a whole different animal.
Save $2,500 on 1990 Cherokees, or get up to $700 on 91s.
At BASF, we don't make the house, we make it warmer. We don't make the suit, we make it racier. We don't make the meal, we make it healthier. We don't make the music, we make it clearer. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy. We make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF, the spirit of innovation.
ESPN's College Football Saturday, Syracuse at Miami, is brought to you by Jeep. There's only one Jeep. And by BASF, the spirit of innovation. Great shot of the water and the lights here in South Miami. The Orange Bowl, and of course, the Hurricanes and their seniors, as we told you off the top of the telecast, they have never lost a home game in this stadium. Erickson back to throw on first down, but nobody behind him, and it is complete to Carroll. Wesley Carroll right in between 2 defenders, and that's going to be good for 10 yards in the first down. Now let's take a look at the Orangemen on defense tonight. Kevin Mitchell, and we'll call his name a lot tonight, is the nose guard. George Rooks and Frank Conover are the defensive tackles. The linebackers in the middle, 2 other guys that are extremely active, Glenn Young and Matt Conley. The outside backers, Brian LeBaron and Garland Hawkins. In the secondary, Usman Bari and Dwayne Joseph are the corners. Rob Thompson and Greg Walker are the safeties. Walker normally the starter at cornerback, but at strong safety tonight. Pressure to the outside, and Erickson throws it complete to Wesley Carroll. breaks by one tackler, and he goes down at the 31. It's Glenn Young who tripped him up, one of those young middle linebackers.
Defensive coordinator Norm Gerber is going to try to stick with his 3-4 defense. There you see number 49, Dan Conley. The problem is he gets matched up with people like this. Carroll, Dan cannot stay with him. I'll tell you what, though, Dan Conley can do some other things. The freshman is the leading tackler on this football team, and he can sack the quarterback. You'll see him line up in a number of positions, but that's a tough matchup for him.
Down to play with here with 2nd down and short for Miami. But they won't do that. McGuire from about an 8-yard set takes it from the top of the eye. Kevin Mitchell makes the stop, and it looks as though he has the 1st down. He's in the vicinity of the 34.
The Syracuse defense is giving up 142 yards in rushing. These front 3 players, Kevin Mitchell, number 50, number 91, Rooks, they have to push and they have to shut down this running game. If Syracuse has to commit more people to stop the running game, they're going to be very vulnerable on the pass. Those front 3 people, 99 Conover, 50 Mitchell, and 91 Rooks, must play the game of their life tonight.
McGuire breaks off one tackle, takes it out to the 39. Dan Conley, number 49, is holding on to him. You remember that earlier game we had this year against Michigan State? Mitchell, Young, and Conley, the 3 men in the middle, were in on virtually every tackle for 3/4 of the ball game.
And Connolly and Glenn Young, they look like surfers and they hit you like steel workers. I mean, these guys, I'll tell you, they are something. You know, they got the blonde hair and everything, but they put it to another tone when the game starts.
Alex Johnson, number 21, a senior from Homestead, Florida, comes in as the setback. Pressure up the middle from Mitchell. They throw back the screen. He's got it and gets a block. Hang on. At the 45, at the 40, he is out of bounds. At the 37, Conley knocked him out.
A little throwback screen here, and Alex Johnson is the recipient. Very nice play. Got Mitchell coming in there, puts the pressure on him, but Craig does a nice job of sucking it back and holding on as long as possible. You can't give it away too fast. And then Alex Johnson, boy, there's a lot of room right here. This could have gone a long way, but he actually runs by a couple blockers that he had right there because of his quickness, and they get it very fortunately pushed out of bounds for the Syracuse defense.
Johnson stays in the ballgame. He gained 24 in that last play. Erickson over the middle, Wesley Carroll at the 28. Conley makes the stick on him.
That time Wesley Carroll was covered early. Craig Erickson looked at him, then he looked away to look for somebody else, then he came back and Carroll found himself open. That's nice. If you can do that, if you can look at a receiver, look away, and then come back, I think they need a little more pressure. That's the problem. The offensive line is doing his job. Carroll now 3 receptions for 30 yards already in the football game. Carroll's the #1 receiver on the football team, and the slot receiver catches a lot of balls.
Well, they didn't quite pick up the 1st down. They will spot it just shy of the 27-yard line. You just joined us. 6:55 left in the opening quarter. Hurricanes 3-0. Play action, great fake. Carroll is open. Nope, Chudzinski hits him, and it's inside the 15. Both receivers were almost side by side. Chud is the man he picked out.
You're right. Chudzinski was almost covering Carroll on that play. Erickson almost looked for somebody else. A little bootleg action off the run game right here. He's going to go to his right and then double back on a little naked boot. The receiver comes across, and then Chudzinski delays and comes out to the flat. Look at Carroll's even in position to block. Chudzinski, 4th leading receiver on the football team, has a history of coming up with the big catches in big games.
Erickson is perfect so far. 5 of 5, 68 yards as McGuire comes back in at the fullback spot. 5 yards is going to be stepped off because of the movement on the line of scrimmage. Luis Cristobal, senior from here in Miami.
Dead ball foul. False start. Miami. Still 1st down.
Terry Monk, our referee tonight.
Dan, Ron, I was trying to think what I was saying. Bob Bratkowski, offensive coordinator, said they were going to show a little 4 wide receivers tonight, something that they haven't showed this year, and they're in the game with it already.
3 to the left as Carroll is set slot to that side. And Hill is to the short side of the field. and that's the direction they run it. McGuire, nice move at the line of scrimmage. It looked for the world as he was going to be tackled for a loss by Mitchell. Mitchell did trip him up.
Same thing that Syracuse is trying to accomplish with their offense and spreading people out is what Miami always features. They spread the field, especially the wide field, the wide hash, and then they try to run power football at you. And it's so difficult if you don't have people that can match up man-to-man to play a zone clear across the field like that.
Well, let's see. It's going to be a second down at about 12 yards. Erickson, all the time in the world and all the running room in the world. He's going to score.
Erickson leaps for the Hurricane touchdown.
Well, yes, Syracuse had good coverage on this. The problem was they had no pass rush on this play. Watch Craig get back there. He looks, he looks, he looks. It's just a zone defense, but they're matching up. And when he runs, Ron, this is a 4-6 quarterback right here. He splits right up the middle and scores the touchdown on the scramble.
Well, there is the record by Carlos Huerta, 136 consecutive extra points, and he is the new NCAA leader, and that is the reason for the celebration on the field. Let's take a break.
Recently, Four Wheel and Off-Road magazine tested the latest imports and domestics to determine this year's 4x4 of the year. The winner was then tested against past 4x4 of the year winners to determine the best of the best. They compared power, performance, and handling. And when it was over, Jeep Cherokee stood on familiar ground.
Save up to $2,500 on 1990 Cherokees or get 50th anniversary discounts on select 91s.
A little brains, a little luck, and a lot of late nights. A good family, a good spot, and some good advice. That's the way it's supposed to be. And USF&G standing behind me. That's the way it's supposed to be. And USF&G standing behind me.
A Ranger never takes the easy way out.
You're reaching deep inside you for things you've never known. Go!
That's why getting into the Rangers is tough and the training is tough.
Be all that you can be.
So it makes me feel like I'm part of something really special.
Be all that you can be.
And I'm not the only one.
Get an edge on life in the Army.
Welcome back to the Orange Bowl. Ron Franklin, Gary Danielson, and then Dr. Jerry Punch here tonight. The matchup between Syracuse and the Miami Hurricanes. And the locals are enjoying it. 10-0. They have gone on top with 5:21 left to play in this opening quarter. Carlos Huerta into the record books. 136 consecutive point afters. I think he got a little pumped up. He sends this one 5 yards deep, and this smile will not return it.
One more look at it. Watch the protection he's getting from his offensive line right here. You sit, you look, you survey. This offensive line has been there all year. You split the middle, and Craig is a very fast, mobile quarterback. But I want to show you something here. Let's look at it from the sideline here. I think Craig's down at the 2 right here. As he breaks, his knee definitely goes down as he scrambles up the middle. Once it goes down, he's down, and that's a 2-yard line. And Ron, as we saw last Thursday against West Virginia, that's not a sure touchdown when you're on the 2. The bad things can happen.
South Carolina, West Virginia. West Virginia drove it down there, and what Gary is referring to did not put it in. They wound up being intercepted. At the closed end of the stadium, and now a flag comes down, and you know what, they're going to call delay of game because the 25-second clock had run out.
Syracuse, still first down.
But the referee is supposed to help a quarterback out in a situation like this, and he couldn't hear.
Yeah, right, Ron. But remember, Marvin Graves is just a freshman. I saw the Ohio State-Michigan game.
That's right.
And they milked the quarterback has to draw attention and show that he can't hear. Marvin's still just a freshman, although he's played a lot of games. Should have turned immediately when he saw that clock. He didn't have enough time. He did it when there was 2 seconds to go, and the penalty got called.
Gained on first down. 1.3 yards for Syracuse. Graves wanted to pitch, no place to go. Rusty Medeiros was all over it.
Marvin Graves.
Rusty Medeiros is just a freshman. He's got his opportunity to play when they move Shane Curry into tackle. He's a great pass rush man, but this time he forces quarterback Graves to turn in and not pitch the ball, and then he's quick enough to make the tackle. We talked to defensive coordinator Sonny Lubick. He said Rusty Medeiros will be an All-American before he leaves.
You know, it shows the kind of quality depth that this Miami team has. He was number 3 on our depth chart when we did their game against BYU, second game of the year. Drop play to Richardson. No, what a fake, and the throw over the middle is complete. I beg your pardon. Great fake by Richardson up the middle, held onto it and throws it for the first down out to the 42.
Well, that's what they fake for, Ron. What? Get it up there, he puts the ball out, and then he puts it on his hip very nicely. I think Syracuse must do this tonight to be effective. They have to throw the ball, and Rob Carpenter is one of the best I've seen all year. The nice 15, 18-yard crossing route is there. This pass defense for Miami is vulnerable.
Well, one help for Graves here is he is getting a little bit farther away from the horseshoe end of the stadium, which is where the student section and a lot of the Miami fans sit. Graves with the option, tries to turn it up. There's just not a lot there. Mo Crum comes up to make the hit. He was very doubtful for tonight's ball game. In fact, he really didn't work out this week. Crum with an injured ankle, but he said he'd be set to go, and he looked like it then.
Still, they're not going to give up on the option. They have to make it go tonight. We talked in our pregame. They have 3 phases of their offense: power run, option run, and the passing game. Even if it's not successful, they just can't give up on it. They have to stay with it.
3:35 left in this opening quarter. 10-0. Canes lead. Graves wants to throw. He will be sacked by Hamlet. Shane Curry was also right there pressuring. What a game so far by Hamlet. A recovered fumble and now a sack in the first quarter.
The junior Anthony Hamlet is this time reacts to the option play and then the pass. Watch it. Looks like option for a minute, but look at the penetration. He gets knocked down, gets right back up on his feet, and makes the play. Great athletic ability and really a good job. These two ends have not faced option football this year, and they're handling it extremely well right now.
Dick McPherson's ball club faced with a third down. They need to take it to the Miami 48 to pick up the first. Ball is fumbled by Graves. He makes his own recovery. Wow, that is 2 mishandled footballs by Graves in the first quarter.
We talked to Dick McPherson about Marvin Graves. He said sometimes he gets a little too wired early in a big game. This time, he just handles the snap. Good possibility. Dan Erickson, the new center, you know, he's in a big game also. You just can't blame it all on Marvin. You know, I'm wondering if Mark McDonald, the junior quarterback who's throwing about 75%, might be featured a little bit tonight before the night's over.
Could be. Pat O'Neill standing back to punt. I think the point about Erickson, the backup center, is very well taken with Flannery moving over to guard. O'Neill, great coverage kick. Williams all the way back to the 8-yard line. He's going to return it. Needs one block and turns the corner. Out of bounds at the 31. Let's take a break. 1:44 left in the opening quarter. Canes 10-0.
The following scenes are rated R.
Mark.
The racing Dodge Stealth. Refined Caravan. Refreshing Shadow Convertible. Responsible responsive Spirit RT and the radical new Viper.
See Orlando, Dodge Orlando, Luke Potter, Winter Park, Bob Dance, Longwood, Southside Dodge, Kissimmee, Jim Peacock, Daytona, Bill Bryant, Leesburg, DeLand, Dodge, DeLand, Lake and Eustis, and Flagler and Benell.
Get away to Shooters Waterfront Cafe USA on beautiful Lake Fairview for volleyball, the Saturday Hot Bod Contest poolside. Meet new friends. You'll never run out of things to do. At Shooters, enjoy casual dining, lakeside or inside, on dishes from around the world every day. Sunday, try Shooters Brunch Buffet. Tuesday, go south of the border to Mexi Night. Get away to Shooters.
ESPN brings you coast-to-coast NCAA basketball. The action's outstanding. Everywhere you look, there's down-to-the-wire excitement.
Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Awesome, baby! Sensational! Super!
There's always outstanding basketball on ESPN. Watch semifinal action of the Maui Invitational Saturday night live on ESPN.
Boy, the Maui Classic, everything going full steam with college basketball. 10-0 our score. Gary and I talked about speed off the top of the telecast. This exemplifies. In fact, let's run it at regular speed.
You want to try to make a tackle on a punt return. Kevin Williams is just a freshman. He catches the ball on the 8. But look at the field position he creates just with speed right here, out to the 30-yard line. You have about 50% more offense at the 30-yard line than you do at the 8-yard line.
It was a 54-yard punt and a 22-yard return. Alex Johnson remains in the ball game at fullback. Erickson over the middle. Bethel drops it. Well, that's the first incomplete pass, I believe, for Erickson so far tonight. Look at that.
He's had quite a season, and we talked to Bob Brodkowski about his quarterback, and he says he's gotten better as the year has gone on. Better and better. He's playing his best football right now. He says the key to it has been since they've started to gear up that running game, he's had better protection. Boy, don't we all throw with better protection. We throw a lot better.
You know, the reason Alex Johnson is playing so much tonight, Leonard Conley, who normally is the backup or equal time with McGuire, was suspended from the team this week. Pass over the middle, incomplete, same route, and Chudzinski couldn't hold on.
Little different, Ron. This time Syracuse brought the blitz. They brought both linebackers in that time, and it was a little hot receiver blitz that time. Craig is going to come back. He reads his keys, and he throws it on the run right here to his hot receiver, and that's just a drop. You know what's so tough about stopping this offense for Miami, Ron, is the leading receiver, Wesley Carroll, has 47 catches. But the number 2, 3, and if you count the 2 tight ends combined, all have 36, 36, and 33 receptions. But so who do you stop? There's 4 guys.
3rd down and 10 for the Kings. Near sideline, incomplete. As Hill hadn't turned around. Covering on the play was LeBaron, and it almost hit him.
Well, I'll tell you, Craig Erickson was really upset with Hill right there. That ball was a catchable ball. Yes, there was some traffic there, but Hill gave up on it.
And if LeBaron had turned around, he might have lost to the end zone.
I didn't understand. Craig was very upset with Hill that time. I mean, I'll bet when he comes to the bench, he's going to want to know what the problem was.
Snyder's punt. Frisbee backing up all the way to the 13-yard line. What a great open field hit at the 38. Wow, one Miami player was there, and that was Charles Farms, and he just unloaded on him. 47 yards in a kick and 12 on the return. Let's go to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, gentlemen, we talked about defensive coordinator Norm Gerber and another Syracuse staff being so impressed with Miami by watching film all week long. We asked Norm and said, hey, who's up in the booth today, by the way? Should Miami be ranked number 2 in the country? And he said, yeah, they should be ranked any better than number 2. He said, do you believe in the coaches poll? He said, no, we think maybe in the AFC Central. So Miami's certainly an awesome ball club, gentlemen.
All right, thanks, Doctor. A lot of people that agree with that. Wooten comes in, along with David Walker in the backfield for the Syracuse Orangemen. Flag comes down as the handoff goes to the fullback, and Wooten maybe has one in the play. It's Russell Maryland down at the bottom there.
Ron, this has been Syracuse's best play, is to try to have Miami line up in the neutral zone so far in the running game tonight, and they got another one. That's 3 of them so far. Don McPherson must convince his players that they can play. Don must convince his players that they must play with Miami with confidence and they must focus on this team, and their best is good enough to win this game.
First down and 5 from the 43-yard line.
Dwayne Kennan checks into the ball game, replacing Wooten at fullback. So with the penalty, it's a first down and 5. About to hit 1 minute left in this opening quarter. Graves, pass incomplete. Dwayne Kennan, the intended receiver, at the 47.
Little bootleg action this time, and they put Dwayne Kennan, the fullback, out in the flats. We're going to look at Russell Maryland here. He beats the guard play. 2 people, squeezes through him and gets pushed almost into the quarterback. And look how he stops. Good, smart football player there. Why get a penalty? He saw the ball was released and he lets it go.
2 of 4 for 32 yards so far for Marvin Graves, freshman from Washington, D.C. This time it is Walker, and he barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. Rusty Medeiros. So Syracuse trying to stay with that game plan, Gary, trying to run the football, and it has been virtually impossible so far.
I like that they haven't given up on their game plan. They have to stick with it. The idea has been to spread the Miami defense out. Their tight end is looking like 3 wide receiver. He's not in a close stance. And the linebackers, number 45, Darren Smith, is having to reduce and play almost a secondary position. But problem is, the 6 guys left are stopping him. Look at tonight, not even a yard average.
To the left, he wants to throw it, does to Carpenter. Carpenter will go down, loses the football, and has been picked up by Miami. Robert Bailey. That's the end of the quarter, but don't go away until we take a look at a replay.
Well, there you see Bailey. He's got a little turf in him, but he was the recipient. Nice off the option. Why I say they have to run the option play is for just this. It helps their passing game. Carpenter gets it. He's their leading receiver. He's a good athlete. He's trying to make something happen afterwards, and he gets hit, and he's on the ground. He's on the ground. And in fact, when the play was going on, Ron, one of the officials pointed that he was down, and then afterwards changed his mind. I couldn't understand. I thought for sure. And in fact, the quarterback and Rob Carpenter was coming back and saying he's down.
That's the end of the first quarter. We'll come back and sort it out in a moment.
A new high-output 4-liter engine. Anti-lock brakes. And exclusive shift-on-the-fly, full-time 4-wheel drive. Make Jeep Cherokee the ultimate vehicle for the hustle and bustle of everyday life.
Save $2,500 on 1990 Cherokees, or get up to $700 on 91s.
A little secret that nobody knows. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, you've got to have an ace in the hole.
Bud Light proudly presents George Strait.
Ho, ho, here we go! Whoa! You're dust, baby. Zombie blitz! How you like me now, baby? Got good life insurance? All in one word!
College is a tough climb. Joining the Army could make it easier. You can earn money for your education with the Montgomery GI Bill and the Army College Fund. And you'll develop the confidence and determination that can get you to the top in college and beyond.
The most impressive thing about the new Macintosh computers isn't how little they cost. It's how much they're worth.
far do you think it is?
Oh, about 140 miles.
And there ain't a thing out there.
Reliability isn't a sticker you put on the windshield. It's something you darn well better design in from the start.
This is far.
This is forever.
You know, we're not selling these cars to mechanics. It could be someone like your mother, and they just gotta know they won't be left sitting somewhere by the side of the road.
I mean, that's the way I would want it if I was a customer.
Hey, look at this. Civilization. Sort of.
10-0 our score. Dick McPherson very upset about what just happened with his team and probably with the officials. And after this play, we'll give you another look at why he should be. It was not a fumble. McGuire, the lone setback, takes it back into the boundary side of the field and still out of speed. Fights for 2, now 3. Let's go back and look at it.
Well, I thought the whistle blew, but look at here. First of all, Russell Maryland hustling down there. Got to give him credit for hustling, and he does rip the ball out. But look, how late. First his knee hits, then his back hits, and then the ball is ripped out. You know, it's tough to win on the road, and one of the reasons is you don't get the great calls. Rob Carpenter makes a couple of nice moves. He gets to the middle field, and you will clearly see that this is the second bad call that Syracuse has had. Knees down, then the back's down, and then the ball is ripped out. That's about as obvious as it gets.
Carpenter with 3 receptions tonight. Blitz is coming. Pass complete to Carroll. Rob Thompson will drag him down at the 5-yard line.
Hey, you gotta keep my neck this round. Shit. You gotta keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut, Chris.
Well, you could hear exactly what happened after the tackle.
Well, that goes on all game. And if you listen to that, you see Connolly blitzing. Craig Erickson read the play. Nice switch off there by the offensive line. They get the ball off, and they get the positive play out of a blitzing situation for the Miami offense. Nice job by Mike Sullivan, number 79, getting the play.
First and goal for Miami. McGuire, touchdown.
Just pushed it in with their basic formation right there, but number 70, Claude Jones, is coming off the field with a little bit of limp right now. Their starting left guard, the junior. And the tough field position on the turnovers has really turned this game around into a 17-0
yeah,
score.
They've had to go how far?
The 2 drives so far, not much.
Huerta has the extra point. Now the Canes on top 17-0. And Gary, you're right. The 2 turnovers in very comfortable field position for Miami.
This offense is tough enough to stop anyway, but when you give them field position, there you see that front line. This is an offensive line that has been intact all year. Searcy, Jones, Handy, Cristobal, and Sullivan. They've started every football game for this team, and really with any running game or passing game, you know, you got to have those guys pushing up front, and they've turned it around. They've played better football.
Let's take a look at what is coming up next week here on ESPN. It all begins at 11:30 Eastern Time. Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, and Charlene Hawks with College Game Day. They set the table, and then the first game of our doubleheader next week. Number 2 Miami at San Diego State. That's at 4 o'clock Eastern. And Gary and I will be in Tallahassee, Florida. Number 5 against number 9, Florida at Florida State. Sullivan and Louis Cristobal, both are seniors. Part of that tandem that Gary was talking about, of the offensive line, that
both
has done
seniors,
such a magnificent job.
Both fifth-year seniors, both have graduated already. They're ready. They're in grad school, and a real tribute to college football, those 2 guys.
Huerta's kick will hit the cone, so that's a touchback.
Hits the pin.
And let's go to Tim Brando and get an update on college football. Tim?
All right, thank you, Ron. Arizona State is driving late in the game against Arizona. They're down by 21-17. Paul Justin intercepted by Bobby Rowland. And Arizona hangs on. They are going, of course, to the Aloha Bowl to take on Syracuse. And unfortunately for Larry Marmee, it could be his final game at the helm in Sun Devil land. Back to Ron and Gary and Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thanks, Timmy. Come from behind effort by Arizona in that ball game as Arizona State had led early. Richardson and Kennan, the setbacks for Syracuse, and look at how they're lined up. The fullback just a couple of yards behind the quarterback, and the tailback 5 yards behind him. Graves back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. Medeiros is down in the bottom of the pile someplace. So the storyline of this one so far as we begin the second quarter, Syracuse 2 fumbles deep in their own territory. Miami 10 points off the takeaways. Erickson 6 of 9, 77 yards, 1 rushing touchdown. And Huerta, NCAA point after record, now with 137.
And I guess maybe a little asterisk around one of those fumbles because that was really a bad call on the second one. And that was a big fumble return that got it in position right there.
Graves in the short drop throws it complete. Carpenter with his 4th reception. Herbert James making the play defensively for the Miami Hurricanes. Carpenter gets 1 more. He goes into the record book as the most prolific in a season receiving. And of course the record that he will break will be that of Mr. Moore, who is now with the New York Jets.
And who could be here had he not elected to go into the draft
That's
early.
right. He went a year early. The 4 catches good for 57 yards. Paramount in their minds right now, though, it's a 3rd down, and they need to take it out to the 30 to hold on to the football. Graves has it complete over the middle to Hill. And you know, I almost said J.D. Hill. That's his father. He's a freshman from Phoenix, and that's good for 22 yards.
The front 4 for Miami is going to try to put the pressure in the passing situation. Russell Maryland is the key guy, and sometimes you stun him. This time the 2 tackles are going to cross. Curry goes inside, Russell to the outside, but nice job by McCummings coming off, pushing Curry inside, and then coming off on Maryland to give Graves enough time to throw the football.
McCummings, one of the captains of the ball club. His father is president of Cheney State. Graves is now 5 of 7, 79 yards. Option play and a quick pitch. Hit and knocked down at the line of scrimmage. I'm telling you, Terry Richardson had no place to go. Let's go back down to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, gentlemen behind me, they're working on Claude Jones, junior offensive guard, who had a great block on that score a minute ago from Miami. I spoke with head trainer Andy Clary, who told me that apparently someone landed on the right ankle of Claude Jones. They have taken a sock off. They've retaped him, now put an ankle brace back on. He will put a shoe on and go back in the game. Good news for Miami.
They already were kind of banged up in that offensive line because they were not totally sure if Darren Handy was going to be able to go. He had injured his ankle and been limited in practice. In fact, they thought Claude might have to go to center. Graves in the play action hit, fumbles the ball. He makes his own recovery as Russell Maryland is right there on him. And Gary, this is now, if you count that as a rush, 6 rushing plays that Syracuse has gained no yardage.
Well, they're trying to do some things by spreading the defense out, but they haven't been able to control Maryland yet. He gets around Flannery. Not a bad job, but got there a little too quick. You know, Marvin has to read that hole up the middle. If it's there, he has to take it and make some things happen running the ball up the middle. He's not going to get a lot of time to throw the ball against his powerful pass rush.
And for people who didn't see the game against Michigan State, we saw him run very adequately that night. He's very capable.
He's a player.
Third and 12, blitz from the outside this time, and he's going to have to run for his life, and he's sacked back at the 33-yard line by Hamlet and Russell Maryland. Flag deep downfield at the 38-yard line of Miami. We'll see what that is all about, and the Syracuse players are pointing we'll take the penalty. Gary McCummings, one of the team captains, is standing there, and he started signaling down the field.
The only thing that I can think of is holding in the secondary on one of the receivers back there.
Holding on Miami will be assessed from the previous spot. It'll still be third down.
The bottom left-hand side of your corner right here. Let's see if we can pick up the hold in the secondary. Really don't get a quick look at it, but evidently it was on the bottom of your screen right there. It looks like Robert Bailey might have grabbed on. And that's a big first down. That's about the first break they've had so far tonight. Let's see if they can move the ball and get something on the board.
So now instead of a third down and 12, it's going to be third down and 2.
Third down.
This is a play that I think should be an automatic first down. Because as an offense, you never know if that's the guy you were going to throw to. In the pro game, it's an automatic first down. And in college, I think it should be too, because you put your quarterback at risk holding in the secondary.
Syracuse comes out of the huddle and calls a timeout because there was only 8 seconds left on the 25-second clock. And they were bringing in a short yardage offense. So we'll go away for a moment. We'll be right back.
This is the amazing new GE Crystal Clear cordless telephone, which comes with this ingenious any-room recharge cradle. So you can recharge it in any room you like. Of course, it also has this remarkable crystal clear sound. There. You hear it? Of course you don't. There's virtually no static, so there's nothing to hear.
The new GE Crystal Clear cordless telephone. You have to not hear it to believe it.
Okay. All right. For you. He's not taking any calls.
Seems to me a new car warranty should cover the entire car for many miles. Now take Ford Taurus. Its basic warranty ends at just 12,000 miles. But the basic warranty on the new Cutlass Supreme goes a bit farther.
Like from New York to L.A., back to New York to L.A., to New York to L.A., New York to L.A., New York to L.A., to New York to L.A., to New York. Plus a trip to Anchorage, Alaska.
Cutlass Supreme with its bumper-to-bumper plus warranty. Here's one car that does it all and does it right. Hey, Dad.
This is the new generation of old.
I could take a taxi.
No, don't worry, Dad. I'll drive you.
Total safety? I suppose we could all stay home or ride around in M1 tanks. But we're working on practical solutions. Honey, we're never going to make it.
Dad, we'll make it.
Anti-lock brakes. Standard equipment on more and more of our cars. Rain or snow, you can come to a nice clean stop.
You build someone a safer car, you get yourself a good night's sleep.
Well, we made it.
Do it all the time.
ESPN's College Football Saturday, Syracuse and Miami, is brought to you by Oldsmobile, who invite you to stop by your Oldsmobile dealer and see what's new from the new generation of Olds. And by General Motors. GM is putting quality on the road. The night lights of Miami, Florida. 10:16 left until halftime. It's the Hurricanes, 17-0 in our situation. Syracuse with a third down and 2. Graves in the play action wants to throw. Going to go long for his tight end Andrew Dees in the end zone. It is tipped and almost caught. It goes incomplete. Darrell Williams was down there covering.
They went with a dead T formation, full house backfield, both tight ends. Miami came up with a 9-man front, little play action pass, and they tried to slip the near halfback out in the flat, but he wasn't there, so Marvin has to do a little scrambling and looking around. And the only guy he's got out besides the man in the backfield is the tight end. And Dees goes up, and he has a shot here. 1, 2 off his helmet, but a good job by Williams to read his keys and get back there on the deep pass.
Tough ball to catch that has been tipped, and you're falling backwards. Pat O'Neill about to kick it away to Kevin Williams. Another booming spiral. O'Neill has done a great job. We didn't see him early in the year. That one's going to bound into the end zone as it hit at the 1 first. 47 yards in the kick. Miami will take it over at the 20-yard line. Well, coming up tomorrow, what's on schedule here on ESPN? NFL Game Day with Chris Berman and the guys. That kicks it off at noon Eastern time. And then after the afternoon games are over, they'll come back at 7 o'clock Eastern and show you and tell you what happened. And that previews what is about to come at 8 o'clock Eastern time. The Seattle Seahawks and the San Diego Chargers from the AFC West. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann will be there to bring you the story. Alex Johnson continues to work in the backfield far more than we have seen him in a while. Erickson, pressure on him. Ball is incomplete. And for one of the few times tonight, Craig had to rush a pass.
Well, that's the key. I mean, they've got so many weapons out there. They're so hard to stop. We talked about it. From their first to their fourth receiver, there's only 3 catches. 3 of them are tied for second place, basically, so you really can't double anyone. And the pressure is the only thing that's going to stop Craig from having a big night.
You know, the play that I look for here now, and we have not seen, at least shortly, they run a pass off a counter that we saw open against BYU at least twice, against Florida State, against Notre Dame. It's worked against everyone.
And it's so hard to do it to read because all the people block. They run run-up protection.
Well, Alex Johnson left. He's telling me that they got 2 men in motion. Pass thrown to Bethel, complete at the 26, and he will be knocked out of bounds.
Erickson, throws complete to 93, Randy Bethel.
They had Alex Johnson going in motion, but Craig audibles, and a couple people have to shift. Randy Bethel reads it, breaks out to the flat. Craig thought it was going to be a blitz, and he hits Bethel, the number 5 receiver, leading receiver on this football team with 16 catches. He's averaging 9.9 yards. You know, Craig's just so much in control with this offense. He's a different player than what we saw earlier in the year.
3rd down. They need a couple. Canes on top, 17-0. About to hit 9 minutes remaining in the first half. And now Erickson comes out and says, let's call a timeout.
So everyone at home wants to know, you know, how do you stop these guys? Well, I don't know if you really do stop them. They're averaging, 504 yards a game, and they run the ball well, and they pass the ball well. But really the key to stopping them, I think, Ron, is the way BYU went at them. You have to have some offense. You have to make them force a little bit to score as many points. So if your offense is having an off night, you're in for a long game against this team.
Well, and of course, earlier this evening, what happened with the 2 turnovers in Syracuse, giving him the football so deep, really didn't help things. Here are the Big East standings, so to speak. Miami 2-0, Syracuse 1-0-1, Pittsburgh 1-1-1, Boston College 0-3.
The beast of the Big East. That's a good one. You'd think these guys would graduate one of these years. You know, I think I've been seeing them for 10 years in those 2 seats right there.
You know how to say matriculate. No, but the one thing that you want to do, it sounds like the oldest cliche in the world, but when you're on the road, you want to take the crowd out of a football game, and you don't want to turn the football over. Well, Syracuse, through their turnovers, has brought the crowd into the ball game, and when Miami gets a couple of turnovers in 1 quarter inside the 20, you're in deep world of hurt.
You're in deep trouble anyway, no matter where they get the ball. But when you get it there, it's, you can play good defense and they can score on you.
Right. 3rd down. They need the 30. Reverses it out, throws back over the middle to Chudzinski, and he is out to the 50-yard line. Dwayne Joseph making the defensive stop.
We saw Craig early against BYU. He struggled a little bit in that football game, but in the last 4 games, he's 80 for 129, 62%. 10 touchdown passes. He's in control of the football game right now. Chudzinski, a little bit of a play action pass, finds the seam. That's what Chud does so well, is finds it and reads it and gets in a hole where he can catch the ball, gives the quarterback an opportunity to throw this ball to somewhere.
You know, it's the first 3rd down conversion that Miami has converted tonight. They've only had 3.
I was going to say, how many have they needed?
Erickson's pass, that one well overthrown. Looked like a little mix-up in communications as Kevin Williams did get bumped. Now, he can come back in bounds if he's bumped up.
No, freshman number 9, Dwayne Joseph, is the one who made the play on that thing, knocking him out of bounds and did a good job.
Coming into the ball game, number 36, Lamar Thomas. He's only a sophomore from Gainesville. And yesterday, Bob Rutkowski said, when I asked him who was the most improved or the biggest surprise of the offense, he said certainly number 36. His football play and not his hairdo.
Lamar Thomas has done some good things for him, averaging 19 yards a catch for this offense.
Erickson drills it, has it complete to Wesley Carroll at the 40-yard line, gets knocked down pretty hard by Dan Conley.
You know, they talk about how offenses stretch the field. In this wide shot, you're going to look how, with no backs in the field, you're going to see receivers on the whole 53 yards of the width of the football field. And that just opens up those seams. That's a little option route that Carroll's running. If it's man-to-man, he breaks hard. If it's zone, he just holds up in the seam. The quarterback and the receiver have to communicate.
Carroll already has 5 catches for 49 yards. Alex Johnson crosses the 35, and he is down to the 30, and that's close to another Miami first down. Conley on the stop.
You pass, you finesse, and then you come back with a hammer. Watch on the left side, number 79, Mike Sullivan and Louis Cristobal pull around. Watch Sullivan get his hat on somebody in the secondary. That's what that pulling tackle can do. Nowadays, the offensive line coaches like to have the big guards and the tackles that can run just for this play right here, because you're pulling them from the backside and trying to get them in front of your running back for that counter trade type play.
Johnson spins off one tackler, but he won't get away from Mitchell. Kevin was standing right there, and he decked him.
That's the good news. You stopped them for no game. The bad news is they've got 2 more downs to pick up that half yard. You're going to have to do it twice more. Syracuse has a problem. They don't want to play man-to-man defense, and I believe when you're playing one of these football teams that spread the field out like this, you better have a big pass rush, number 1, and if they're able to dink the ball in those short flats, it's hard to rush the pass because the quarterback can get rid of it too quick.
8th play of the drive. The decision that Syracuse had to make, and Coach Gerber talked about it, is they normally play a little more off the ball to protect against the run. That's going to be offsides against the Hurricanes. Louis Cristobal jumped off. But he said tonight they're going to have to cheat up a little bit, because if they don't, they won't have any pass rush.
Well, they have to get up that 1.5 yards. It's too easy to read the games when you line up that far away from the ball. All great rushing teams cheat the ball. That's why Miami's already had 3 offside penalties.
3rd down and 6.
Lamar Thomas comes back in, replacing Kevin Williams at wide receiver. Lamar is 6'3", 170 pounds. He is one of those really leggy kids. Gary and I remarked about that when we were out in Provo. The kid's legs look like they should be on about a 6'10" person.
Here comes the blitz, and Craig reads it.
He did pick it up. Quick pass, incomplete. Chudzinski tried to grab it in with one hand, couldn't make it. And it's going to be 4th down for the Hurricanes.
The linebackers are going to be coming full speed. What do wide receivers in this offense have to do? Oh, they catch a lot of passes. This time he has to check in. He's going to be blocking on a linebacker, Wesley Carroll. He's the leading receiver. This time you got to get in there. Nice job he's going to do right there on Dan Conley. He's coming full speed, and Dan came up shaking his head. Now it's a long field goal. Great defense by the Syracuse team that time.
Carlos Huerta, and this is going to be a 53. Let's make it 50. Yeah, it's going to be 53 yards. He was kicking them from this distance in practice.
We saw him hit the crossbar right from this mark early in the practice, didn't we?
He's got the distance, plenty of it. Good heavens, it might have gone 63.
He would have made that from 10 yards farther, you're right. That one was good from 10 yards further out. And I'll tell you, I'm looking out here. I don't see any big wind in his back or anything like that. And all the thought about kicking off AstroTurf, you could kick it farther either. Let's look at this one.
Gary, earlier tonight, he set a new NCAA record for consecutive extra points, and now he hits a 53-yarder. Canes by 20.
Whether I'm racing 200 miles an hour or driving 55, I don't accept compromises. You shouldn't either. The car should be responsive yet fuel efficient, roomy yet sleek, not to mention affordable.
Well, surprisingly, one car does all that and more. The new Cutlass Supreme.
So take a look at any new Cutlass Supreme and see for yourself.
Here's one car that does it all and does it right.
New generation Volvo.
How far do you think it is?
Oh, about 140 miles. And there ain't a thing out there.
Reliability isn't a sticker you put on the windshield. It's something you darn well better design in from the start.
This is far. This is forever.
You know, we're not selling these cars to mechanics. It could be someone like your mother, and they just gotta know they won't be left sitting somewhere by the side of the road.
I mean, that's the way I would want it if I was a customer.
Hey, look at this. Civilization. Sort of.
If you want to land a good job, you have to know what most employers want. Like how to motivate yourself, how to lead others, how to perform under pressure. You can learn all these things in the Army. So no matter what career you choose, you'll really be ready to take off.
To nothing. Let's take a look at the last play, or the play just before the field goal attempt. Freshman linebacker Dan Conley, who Syracuse cannot afford to lose, was injured on the play. Watch the block. Bottom of the screen. And he gets up in pain. We'll get a report on him in just a second as the kickoff goes into the end zone, and Ismail will not return it. Let's go down to Jerry Punch and get an update on Dan Conley and his injury. All right, we'll get that in just a second.
It's one guy they can't afford to lose on this defense. He's their leading tackler. He's back in pass protection. He's stopping the run. He's just too important to the defense.
Cannon and Walker, the setbacks for the Syracuse Orangemen. Draw play to go with Walker. Takes it out of the 25 to the 26. Michael Barrow, the middle linebacker, is there.
Little different try this time. The option has not been working. They've been staying with it as long as they could. Let's see if they try to go away from it now. You know, coaches hate to give up on their game plan this early in a football game because they practiced it all week. Maybe, though, they need to try to throw the ball a little bit more and try to hit them with some draws.
That's the longest run from scrimmage tonight by Syracuse, 6 yards. Walker, they try sweep to the right side. He's close to the first down, but he won't have it at the 29.5-yard line. Medeiros and Barrow share on the stop there. And let's go down to Dr. Jerry Punch and get an update on the injury to Conley.
Well, they are working on Conley's knee right now. We'll check in just a moment and try to get a further update. One of the concerns that a lot of the coaches have this time of year is filling the shoes of players that are going to lose to graduation. Now, Miami will not lose Carlos Huerta until next year. He's a junior. His shoe, a size 8. But try to fill this one. Leon Searcy, offensive tackle for Miami, 17 Triple E. A family of 4 could live at these for a week, guys.
Or you could put a trolling motor on it and use it bass fishing. 2 of 5 and third down conversions for Syracuse. Walker hit behind the line, but he will fight forward with a good second effort. Barrow makes the stop.
Michael Barrow, the middle linebacker, could have had him for a loss that time in the backfield. That he did get the tackle, but he shook loose just enough for the first down. Those slow developing plays running from one side to the other side of the formation against Miami, if they're not blocked perfectly, they're not going to make it because these guys are just too quick. Backside players are making the tackle.
Nick McPherson pacing and searching for some kind of combination as his football team is down 20-0. Almost 4 minutes and counting left in this first half. Graves, play action. Russell, Maryland did not buy the fake.
Little play action pass right here. He's going to have John Flannery, the All-American, in front of him. But John hasn't been playing guard, and he hasn't been playing against a guy like that. John fires out on him. Russell does a little swim move, and that's about as quick as a sack as you can get. A no-toucher on the line of scrimmage, and you're back there.
You know, the other point that you could make about that is a center is accustomed to having a string-like situation on both sides of him as far as the guard, as far as combination blocks and what have you.
Usually when play action passes, the center to get some help from the guard. There's no doubt. At guard, you're on your own.
That's right. Third sack of the night by Miami. Play is whistled down as Kennan had gotten the handoff. Barrow had a hold of him.
Dead ball. Delay of game. Syracuse. Still second down.
Second time that the Orangemen have been caught with that tonight. Oh, Miami tradition, defensive line All-Americans. Russell Maryland this year, but look at some of the others. Jerome Brown, Dan Stubbs, Bill Hawkins, and of course Greg Mark just last year.
And of course Cortez Kennedy was a #1 draft pick that also could be right up there.
Pegues last year was drafted high by the Houston Oilers.
Well, I thought this was QBU. Now it's becoming defensive lineman U here.
Draw play with Walker. Cuts it up into the middle and close to the 24. Darren Smith is there defensively, and it will bring up a third down.
I'm sorry, Rod. Sonny Lubeck has told us that Darren Smith, number 45, the outside strong linebacker, is really the unknown star of this football team. He plays out in space a lot and has made a lot of tough plays for him. Nobody's heard much about him, but he's a good cover guy, and he makes the open field tackle so well for him.
Walker now 6 carries for 21. Incomplete as he wanted 84 Chris Gedney, but Russell Maryland was just all over him.
Well, Russell Maryland is playing a game. I mean, he's playing a game like he had against Notre Dame. Notre Dame earlier in the year, he had 20 tackles, 15 of them unassisted. This time, he's showing that he can pass rush. And with every pass rush like that, he's moving a notch up higher in the draft. I don't know if it's very possible. He probably already was up third or second already, but he might be the first guy taken if he can rush the passer like that.
We mentioned his dad from Chicago was in town. Russell, one of the 4 finalists for the Lombardi Award. O'Neal's kick is going to bound untaken inside the 40-yard line. And let's take a break. 2:01 left until halftime. Miami 20-0.
Good night, Mrs. Campbell. Have fun. Hey, Pizza Hut Pan Pizza. Cool.
With tons of irresistible toppings and 2 luscious layers of cheese, people can afford to be generous with their Pizza Hut Pan Pizza. But when it comes to the delectable golden crust, that's a different story. Pizza Hut Pan Pizza. Nobody can touch our crust.
She's young. She'll learn.
Pizza Hut, making it great.
When doctors were asked which of these 2 pain relief formulas they preferred, #1, they chose the Goodies formula by more than 3-to-1 over BC's. And when people in the South
Goodies
choose their #1 headache powder,
why, Goodies, of course.
Goodies wins again because Goodies has the formula most doctors preferred, and BC doesn't. Goodies. No wonder it's the South's #1 headache powder.
Hi, I'm Chris Berman. Sunday on NFL Game Day, we are back with a vengeance at our usual kickoff time, noon Eastern. We'll look at a bear of a man who was back with a vengeance himself this season after his 10th knee operation. Chicago's Dan Hampton. Back after a year's suspension. Former All-Pro defensive end Dexter Manley. We'll check out his week of reinstatement and change of NFL address. Will the Giants and Niners get to their dream game unscathed, or will their arch rivals Philly and LA stop them? Join us here on ESPN Sunday at noon Eastern Time.
Welcome back to the Orange Bowl, where the Miami Hurricanes have a 20-0 lead over Syracuse. Good news for the Syracuse Orangemen. Freshman linebacker Dan Connolly, only a bruise to the right knee. He is back on the field for defensive play. Gentlemen?
Somehow that doesn't surprise me. That's the kind of temperament that he has and the kind of fervor with which he plays. Erickson, short, quick drop on this one. Incomplete. Wesley Carroll at the 45. And Conley was pressuring Erickson on the play. U.S. Army Student Athlete of the Game is brought to you by the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be. And tonight's honoree is Miami tight end Rob Chudzinski. Grade point average of 3.4 in business administration. Here's Chud. He is an extremely popular player with these Miami fans. His parents also in attendance tonight. They were introduced before the ball game. Erickson stretches it to the near side. Gets Wesley Carroll this time, and he's out of bounds at the 46.
They throw it to the left side of the field. They've got a matchup. That's what you look for as a quarterback. You've got Connolly on Carroll, a linebacker on a wide receiver. You look at that, you say, hey, let's go with it. Connolly's inside, Carroll comes out, pushes to the inside, little pressure release, and the ball's right on the money. Doesn't work to the left, let's try it to the right. Same matchup.
They stopped the clock with 1:51 until halftime, and Miami already leading 20-0. Alex Johnson puts a head down. He'll have the Miami first down. Knocked out of bounds at the 46-yard line of Syracuse. Dwayne Joseph was there with the defensive stop.
The senior offensive line works as a unit. All 5 of them have played together all year. Backside guys pull again. It's Cristobal and Sullivan. Alex Johnson, though, with the speed, goes away from him this time and pops it to the outside. It's just a replay with your back 2 people coming. Counter trade, they call it.
Alex Johnson to the left side. Breaks it open big and then gets hit big time. That's Rob Thompson and Sandquist, who's sandwiched on him, but he'll have another first down inside the 35.
Well, Cristobal and Sullivan aren't the only 2 guys who can do it. This time it's Claude Jones, number 70, and Leon Searcy, number 73, who runs it the other way. Same play.
Alex Johnson inside the 30, down to the 28. That's going to be a gain of close to 7 on the play. Looked like the right side of the line was still getting down as the ball was snapped. No flag on the play, and Miami will come with a hurry-up offense. 11 carries for Johnson for 48 yards. We've seen him a lot more tonight than we have Steve McGuire. And Erickson wants a timeout. 53 seconds left until halftime. We'll be right back.
Hello.
Hello, Jamie. How are you?
How you doing, buddy?
How'd you like the new music?
Great. Really great.
Well, where are the words?
How about checking your fax machine? You're gonna love it. It's in your favorite key.
Hey.
This feeling's just like magic. Day by day.
Dex Facsimile, one of a wide range of business communication solutions from Fujitsu, the global computer and communications company.
Come on, mates. I've got a surprise for you.
What's the surprise?
I'll show you.
Look, Bernard. It's us.
Just for the holidays at McDonald's, you can get Bernard. Or Miss Bianca, the famous heroes from Walt Disney Pictures' new animated feature, The Rescuers Down Under. Now in theaters everywhere. One ornament's free when you buy a $5 book of McDonald's gift certificates. Or $1.49 with any food purchase.
Very handsome, but I prefer the real one.
The thirst for adventure is Michelob Dry. Refreshing beyond the ordinary. And once you've experienced the bold taste with no aftertaste, there is no going back.
You bet they like it. 20-0. Their team on top. 53 seconds left until halftime. The Hurricanes back at the line of scrimmage, which is the Syracuse 28-yard line. Pass is thrown complete to the near sideline, and they're working this drill to perfection. Coming up at halftime, USF&G halftime report. Timmy Brando and the coach Lee Corso will be along. Talk about what has happened this afternoon and also bring you up to date on this evening's action in college football.
You know, one of the hidden advantages that a Southern team has late in the year is when a Northern school comes down and play. Everybody talks about the Southern teams going up north to play in the cold weather. It's tough for a Northern school that's practiced outside in the cold weather to come down in this heat. You tire quickly.
It's a great point. Erickson right over the middle. Lamar Thomas, first time that we've seen him handle the ball tonight, and he's down to the 16-yard line in the grasp of Kevin Mitchell. No huddle, and the Canes right back to the line of scrimmage. Clock shows 29 and now 28 seconds. Incomplete. Wanted Thomas again, this time at the 9-yard line.
Craig is very much in control. He knows he has a timeout left. You must save that timeout because you have to get that field goal team out. And there you see how he's doing tonight. Short passes we call from 0 to 9 yards. Middle is from 10 to 19, and the long pass is anything over 19 yards. There you see his stats for the night. And he's having a pretty good ball game. More importantly, though, he's in control. He's calling the right audibles, and he's throwing the ball very accurately tonight.
Lamar Thomas comes out, and Kevin Williams, the freshman from Dallas, replaces him at wide receiver. Blitz from Syracuse. They pick it up, throws for the end zone. Williams couldn't get to it. Greg Walker was covering. That's a tough pass and catch right there.
Well, off the end this time, Dan Connolly, number 49, has been having to cover. He's been lined up on the slot, but this time he comes off the slot full speed. But Alex Johnson finds him and cuts him again. You know, when those big linebackers come in, you tell your backs, hey, you don't have to take them on. Just slow them down. We'll get rid of the ball.
33-yard attempt by Huerta. And Mr. Automatic knocks it home. Third time here in the first half that he has converted. So with 11 seconds left until halftime, our new score is the Canes 23 and Syracuse nothing. Let's take a look at the AP Top 10. And this is what has happened so far today in college football as far as the elite group is concerned. Colorado, their next game is here in the Orange Bowl. Miami, well, they still have San Diego State left, and right now they're leading 23-0. Georgia Tech, they play December the 1st, next Saturday against Georgia. BYU defeated Utah, and they have Hawaii on December the 1st. Florida, next week, that's where Gary and I will be against Florida State. Texas came from behind to defeat Baylor today. They are now in the Cotton Bowl, but they have one more game left against Texas A&M. Notre Dame playing Southern Cal tonight. Florida State, they play Florida next week. Washington, they'll be in the Rose Bowl. And Nebraska lost to Oklahoma that game yesterday. All right, let's make it. Yeah, it was yesterday. I was trying to make it Thanksgiving, but it wasn't. It was in
Friday
between.
Afternoon.
Yeah. Post-Thanksgiving. Ismail from the 10. He'll have a 20-yard return out to the 30. Coming up, the USF&G halftime report. I promise you, Tim Brando is sitting and scribbling his notes right now.
Well, you just have
Aren't
to
you,
wonder,
Timmy? Shake your head yes.
You just have to wonder what Syracuse is going to have to do at halftime to get some offense. You know, you're not going to stop this Miami offense. The only way to put pressure on them is by scoring yourself.
And on the other hand, they're not the type of offensive team that can go back and throw the ball 40 times a ball game. Graves with a draw play to Walker. Has 5 yards and out close to 10, and that will be the final play of the first half as Crum and Michael Barrow combine on the stop. And Gary, in this first 30 minutes of play from the Orange Bowl, it has been all Miami in every facet of the game.
The 2 turnovers hurt them very dearly to put them in that great field position on a very powerful football team. But they just have not been able to get the zone defense and get enough pressure on them.
Let's go to Dr. Jerry Punch. He's with Coach Erickson down on the sideline.
Coach, an impressive first half, particularly defensively for your ball club.
Yeah, we're playing extremely well defensively and running to the football, and had a couple big turnovers. Offensively, we're moving the ball extremely well, and Carlos Huerta has helped us out with some field goals. So we just got to go out, maybe come out and play a little bit better offensively, but try to keep it about the same as it is right now.
Were you surprised to see that Russell would have as much success against Flannery early on?
Russell's the best defensive lineman in the country. I'm not surprised.
Enough said. Coach, certainly an impressive performance by Miami here in the first night.
Okay, Jerry, thanks so much. Score at halftime. Miami 23-0. Let's go to break. Miami leads, and let's go down to the field. And Coach Dr. Jerry Punch visiting with Syracuse head coach Dick McPherson.
Coach Mack, you struggled a little bit in the first half, particularly with some of the turnovers.
Well, I think they're a terrific defensive football team, and the turnovers are what kill us. I say we can't have those, and let's play. They're very, very good. We're trying to find out who we are, and I'm telling you, we're finding out we're not very good tonight. We can't have them play like this. I'm looking forward to see just exactly how we do in the second half, whether we're going to battle them. If we battle them, I'll be happy.
Coach, good luck to you.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. And knowing Dick McPherson as I do, and I think he'll get the response of his football team in the second half, don't you?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that they've been battling them in the first half, though, Ron. It's just the circumstances of the turnovers and the type of field position Miami has had.
I think that's a part of the package of what he's talking about, though, like a lack of concentration to fumble on the very first play from scrimmage. That wasn't caused. They caused it themselves.
Well, this is a type of tempo that they're really not used to playing against. You know, if you ever try, you can talk at a normal speed and everything comes out clearly. But if you try to pick up your tempo and hurry everything up and talk real fast like that, you can't do it. And that's the tempo that Syracuse has found themselves in tonight. A little faster than they want to play.
O'Neal's kick is going to go out of bounds and a 5-yard penalty.
One of the keys.
He has kicked 11 straight. I'm sorry, go ahead.
One of the keys to this football game has been the battle between Flannery and Russell Maryland. Russell has had a game tonight. John Flannery playing guard, a little bit out of position, and Russell Maryland has been all over Graves tonight and causing these types of sacks and turnovers and miscommunication between the receivers and the quarterbacks. Very tough when you got a guy like that coming down on you. Field position has been a real killer in this football game. Miami has had the ball starting out in the first half so far. Their average field position was the 44-yard line. Syracuse the 24, which isn't horrible, but the 44-yard line for a team that averages 500 yards is just too much.
Well, now we see the graphic, and this is what I was alluding to just a moment ago. This young man has done an outstanding job of kicking the ball into the end zone. In fact, that broke a string of 11 straight balls that were not returned, and of course now it is broken. But 60 kicks and 41 of those for touchbacks. In fact, 45 of them have gone into the end zone. That's a great weapon for a kickoff special teams to have.
Ron, Miami rushed the ball 14 times in the first half. 9 of those plays gained more than 4 yards each. That's a great stat for a running team. 9 of 14. That's way too much for Syracuse to give up.
He knocks this one down to the 2, and it's Kevin Williams on the return. First half stats, and that first one just about tells the story of 1.1 yards. Total yards, 97 Syracuse, 210 for Miami. Takeaway points, 10 off 2 turnovers in the first half.
And let's not forget, one of those turnovers was very suspect. A bad call. It's one of those calls you're going to have to play with now. You have to just go on and play from here. But it was a very tough call. There you go. Average gain on first down for Syracuse. That's a killer. Less than 1 yard on first down. They run the ball 19 times. 9 of them have been for losses or no yards.
Just well short. He gripped that one a little too long and let it go at the feet of Wesley Carroll.
Craig Erickson completed 12 passes in the first half. 7 of them went to Carroll. That's a little bit a reaction to the defense in this offense. He's had the linebacker, Dan Connolly, on him, matched up all night. So Erickson has read it and gone to the most obvious man, and Carroll's got the game tonight. It's your ball game.
To the 46, now the 47-yard line. Dwayne Joseph saved a touchdown. It's good for 17 yards.
Well, a little air power and a little ground power right now. This time Connolly's going to drop back. He's thinking pass, but he gets caught up. Carroll's going to catch passes, but now his job. Hey, if you get covered by a linebacker, once in a while you got to block a linebacker, son, and he does a good job of it right there. That's Steve McGuire, their leading rusher for this Miami team this year. He's averaging 4 yards per carry, and Alex Johnson's been the feature back so far.
Erickson going long. Incomplete. Thomas at the 5.
Well, Lamar Thomas was the guy he was trying to hit. And pretty good coverage by Usman Bari here. Does a nice job. There you see the coverage shot. Secondary, you see a little play action pass in the post. Nice job by Craig Erickson looking off the free safety Rob Thompson, and he's got him open, but it's going to have to be a perfect pass 45 yards downfield. Not bad coverage by Bari there.
12 of 23, 138 yards now for Erickson. And in fact, he's only hit one of his last 5. Conley coming on the blitz. And that's the reason that that one was so far overthrown.
I don't know if Syracuse is good enough to do it, but I believe the only way to stop these great passing attacks like this is to cover somebody man-to-man in the secondary. You can't allow a quarterback to drop back and dump those 5-yarders. It'll just frustrate your pass rush. There they hooked up a little man-to-man. They brought a linebacker. They give a chance for that people to rush Erickson and do some damage to that passing game.
Well, let's see what they do on 3rd down and 10. If they bring the blitz or if they stay with the cover. Miami 2 of 6 on 3rd down conversions, and they have converted another one. Lamar Thomas on the receiving end, and a flag comes down to add another 15 yards for a late hit.
I think it might have been a face mask first. Either way, they're going to tack it onto the bend of the play right there. That was just a little zone drop. This time they bunched a little bit on Carroll, so he went out to the outside receiver. Good read.
Face mask. Against Syracuse, 5-yard inadvertent, still 1st down.
It was a little bit of a face mask. Usman Bari, here he comes. There you see Craig, nice little form right there. Gets the ball to the outside, nice little pitch and catch against the zone. And he's faked out a little bit, and he has to grab on.
Incidental, so 5 rather than 15, but they had already picked up the 1st down. New line of scrimmage now the 36. Hill on the reverse, and Syracuse did a good job of staying at home. He's going to wind up picking up about 6 yards in the play.
I'll tell you, Greg Walker, who has played corner, is lining up at strong safety tonight because of the passing game. But he's going to find number 70, Claude Jones, on the block, and he gets it right in the face, trying to turn in the reverse.
Claude Jones out of Fort Lauderdale. 2nd down and short. They need about 3.5. Erickson, Wesley Carroll. That combination has worked all night, and it does again. Dwayne Joseph is there to make the hit immediately. But they'll move the chains again.
Ron, earlier we did Texas against Houston, and they just said, we're going to match up, we're going to put a guy on everybody, and we're going to try to rush the passer. I really don't think Syracuse has the defensive backs to play that style. But you can see when the quarterback has the opportunity to throw those 3, 4, or 5-yarders all night, you just don't have time to rush the passer. What you're depending on then is the quarterback making poor throws, and so far Craig's not making enough poor throws.
12:58 left, 3rd period. Canes 23-0 and driving again. Here's an audible as he looks for the blitz. Short drop and the pass knocked down. That was Usman Bari, and now I think he is wondering, maybe why didn't I try to intercept it? Because
he's upset with himself, and you're right. He had a chance to pick that one off, and that changes the scoreboard and might get the team back in. The corner on these short drops should read the drop of the quarterback. 1, 2, 3, read it, and he should break on the ball. And that one hung too long, and that's an easy catch. Bari, just the sophomore, could have grabbed that one, and he runs the whole length of the field and changes it.
Montreal, Quebec.
Great story about him staying this summer and getting help from Rob Thompson. on reading defenses and really learning how to play football by just staying over the summer. He barely spoke English when he came to Syracuse, maybe only 200 or 300 words that he was even had on his vocabulary.
That screen will go down to the 22 in that time. You could see the pressure as Conley was coming up the middle. George Rooks will make the stop for Syracuse.
I think defensive coordinator Norm Gerber here should think about spelling his players a little bit. I know they just came out from half, but they are getting off the pile slowly. Once you get fatigued, you get tired quicker and quicker as the game goes on. This is a tired defensive line. They've been rushing the passer all game, and they haven't been getting there. They're not getting the positive feedback, and that makes you tired.
10th play of the drive by Miami. Blitz coming from the middle, pass overthrown. But Gary, as you discussed in the first half, for a northern team to come down here, it is not easy to play under these conditions. We don't have a sweltering night, but it is completely different.
Yeah, you're right. You know, one of the tough things, everybody thinks how tough it is for a southern team to go up north and play in the snow, but it's just as much of an advantage down here having this home field advantage in the Miami Heat, because the Syracuse guys have been practicing outside and it's been 50 degrees, and this is a little different weather for them.
Huerta tries to make it 4 for 4 on the night. And he is human. Pushes it to the right. So let's take a break. 11:42 left in the third. Canes by 23.
There are those who thirst for something different. Something beyond the ordinary. For them, there is a beer that refreshes like no other. Michelob Dry. Once you've experienced its bold taste with no aftertaste, there's no going back.
160 horses. That's what Chevy S10 packs into the biggest V6 engine ever put in a compact pickup. Enough power to help switch more truck owners to Chevy last year than to any other truck. The move to Chevy is becoming a stampede. More people are winning with the heartbeat of America. Now it's easy to win with the heartbeat.
It's feeding time for the beast in the basement again. And you know what that old furnace is going to do to your utility bills. Isn't this the year you should find out about the savings Tempstar's high efficiency can bring? Replace that thing in the basement with a high efficiency Tempstar furnace. Start the savings, not the beast.
ESPN's College Football Saturday, Syracuse at Miami, is brought to you by Chevy Trucks. More people are winning with the heartbeat of America. And by Tempstar Furnaces. You can rely on the star. Graves with the draw play, and it goes to 40 for Terry Richardson, and Barrow, the middle linebackers, there to just gobble him up after a gain of a couple.
You know, when we talked to Dick McPherson yesterday, we said, well, what does this Miami defense remind you? And he says, kind of like the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. You can change your formations, you can split guys out, you can go in motion, and they line up, same defense. 4-3, 2 deep safeties. They're going to play their defense no matter where you line up. They're just going to spread out a little bit more.
The option, throws the pass, overthrown. Carpenter's the man that he wanted. Boy, Darrell Williams, number 31, was coming like a streak. And if the ball had been thrown on rhythm and where it should have been, it probably would have been picked off by Williams.
Well, that's what Rob Carpenter read. He read Williams coming over real fast, and he hooked it up in the zone. Marvin Graves didn't read it the same way and threw it a little bit farther, and that's the miscommunication for the incompletion.
Marvin's missed his last 3. He's 5 of 10 for 79 yards. Running for some place of safety, and it's tipped. Had his tight end, Chris Gedney, open, and the ball was tipped by Barrow.
I think Syracuse might have got their favorite play in here right now.
Offside, Miami, replay 3rd down.
It's an aggressive penalty, and coaches don't like these types of things, but they're going to live with it because they've got a defensive line right now that is trying to get to the quarterback, and they got a little too aggressive. You know, I think it was Rusty Medeiros again that lined up wrong. Maybe they better check his level out or something like that. Maybe he needs a little eye check because he's lined up 3 times in the neutral zone.
3rd down. Syracuse needs the ball just across the 33-yard line for the first. Kennan has, nope, he's not going to have the first down. That's going to only be about a yard, maybe a yard and a half, and it's Barrow and Shane Curry on the bottom of the pile. And Syracuse will have to kick it away to the Hurricanes.
That was the first phase of the option right there. They tried to give it to the fullback, and the inside 3 guys, the inside triangle, Maryland, Curry, and Barrow, just say, no way, it's not going tonight. If you're not able to run the fullback in option football, you're in trouble.
Pat O'Neill. In fact, Pat has been the brightest point of the evening for Syracuse tonight. Kevin Williams runs away from it, and that ball, if it had not been tipped by the Syracuse player, would have hit a Miami player at the 35. Montemora will down the ball, and they're going to put it down at around the 35. Well, number 1 in the balance. Let's see what's going to happen. On December the 29th is the Holiday Bowl. Number 4, BYU will take on Texas A&M. In the Cotton Bowl, it's Miami against Texas. In the Citrus Bowl, January the 1st, Georgia Tech against Nebraska. And here in the Orange Bowl, number 1 Colorado against Notre Dame. Play action, pressure up the middle, and it is almost intercepted at the 34. Garland Hawkins.
Well, there's your play, Ron. That was the play we were calling for. That's the first one off the field, but Syracuse ran it very well. They covered it, and they got some pressure this time. Little play action pass. He lives with it. He turns around, and right in his face. Nice escape by Craig and gets rid of it, and it's 2nd and 10.
That was LeBaron, number 40, and you also could see number 50, Kevin Mitchell, coming after him. With the running play, and Alex Johnson gets grabbed by the back of the shoulder pads by George Rooks and given around the world.
Rooks is the junior. He's 277. He's their leading sack with 5, and he's got 15 quarterback pressures, and this time he plays the running game, plays off the blocker and grabs on, and he's strong enough to throw Alex back and just turns around.
Well, he also outweighs him by 110 pounds.
That'll do it too, won't it?
Nick McPherson saying, hey guys, we need a stop here. Miami is 3 of 8 on 3rd down conversions. Blitz from Conley, and the ball is caught by Chudzinski. Rob Thompson will make the tackle at the 46-yard line.
Well, Conley got free that time. Nobody picked him up, and he came just clean. But Craig had enough time. Connolly was disguising it so much that he came from the secondary, and that gave the time for Erickson to wait on his tight end. Look, he's not there yet. He's not there yet. He was unblocked on this play, and Craig had enough time to let it go. He paid for it, but he got the first down. There you see the crossing route. Rob Thompson had a man-to-man and did not come up on the play tight enough. He was also trying to disguise the blitz. That's what that spread offense does. If you give it away, he'll audible. So he came from the secondary, they got him.
You can hear the contact in the middle as LeBaron came up to make the strike on Alex Johnson.
Well, this Syracuse, we've been telling you that they've been having trouble matching up. But let's remember also, 10 of these points that they've given up in this game have been result of a couple of tough turnovers and bad field position. On their own, they've really only given up 13 points, so they've held their own. It's the Syracuse offense that is just giving them nothing in this game. You're going to have to score 30 points to beat this team. You know it coming in.
When you're averaging less than a yard on first down,
that's right.
Can't win that way. Erickson's pass overthrown. Wesley Carroll is the man that he wanted.
I'll tell you, Dan Connolly, the redshirt freshman, number 49, he's going to have to cover Wesley Carroll, number 81, all over the field. This guy's a wide receiver. Look at him, push him, turn around, and he runs. And look at the knee is bothering him. Watch after the play. He's going to go down on his knee a little bit again. He's getting tired. He's been having to chase wide receivers all around. Tough, big effort for this guy tonight.
Carroll has 8 receptions for 65 yards as you look at Conley. Injured a knee, had it bruised back in the first half. But it would take a lot of things to keep him off the field. This one complete to Hill. First catch of the night, and he's inside the 30. That'll move the chains again. Ousmane Barry making the play defensively. And you can see with every play now, Gary, just what you were talking about. The Syracuse players stopping and going to a knee, resting.
There's no doubt. They're getting tired. There's so many different players. Nice form. You see the ball coming right at you in the zone. This time, Brian LeBaron, number 40, it's a zone route. Covers Carroll a little bit, so he goes to the next outside receiver. You know, it's not just throwing the ball for a quarterback. You have to read it against these zones. Where are the linebackers taking it away? Go to the next guy.
Johnson, good move to the outside and almost turns the corner. Greg Walker will make the stop on him. He'll have a couple on the play. Most backs would have had nothing. 8 carries now for Alex Johnson, good for 40 yards. And they're going to get Conley out of the ball game for a breather.
You know, you're right. He never does want to come out, and those type of players never do. But the coaches just have to give a priority to that, saying it's just too important. Now, we know you want to stay out there, but you're dying, son.
John Lasardi, a junior from Springfield, New Jersey, comes in replacing him. John is 6'1", 227, number 39. Hit in the backfield, and Lasardi, who just came into the ball game, who was coming on the blitz, reached out and got a piece of his ankle and makes the stop.
Syracuse isn't deep enough yet, but that's the theory you want to play with defenses that are very solid. You know, the Auburns that have been so good in the past, when Alabama was so good, Nebraska, they shuffle in their players. Fresh players, even if your great ones are on the sidelines, are better than your top flight players when they get tired.
Well, back to the point that you made earlier, as far as playing a team like Miami, we saw Texas doing that against Houston, changing the interior linemen and the linebackers, shuffling them so that they wouldn't get fatigued. You do a lot of running against a ball club like this. .25-second clock down to 1, and they got it off. Pass is caught by Wesley Carroll, and he's out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Here it is, the blitz, but again, it's coming from so far off that slot receiver that Erickson has time to get it out to Carroll, and then a little straight arm into Thompson for the first down. Carroll's having a big night for national television tonight. He likes this defense Syracuse is running around.
Ousmane Barry could have gotten a penalty here. He's out of bounds, and Usman went ahead and threw another shot. First down Miami from the 15. 10th play of the drive. Alex Johnson breaks off one tackler, and he'll take it down to the 12 as Kevin Mitchell is there defensively. And repeating, Leonard Connolly not even playing tonight because he was suspended from the team by his head coach, Dennis Erickson.
Well, Steve McGuire and Alex Johnson is filled in. You hardly notice this guy's missing tonight. You know, we talked about Syracuse is going to have to really see how well they want to play in the second half, and Dick was going to watch how they played. Hey, they're playing as hard as they can play. They're playing with aggressiveness in their tackling, but this is a powerful offense they're facing.
Inside the 10, and Johnson, and he's getting a little fatigued as he stretches out on the ground. He's down to the 8. It'll be third down. They'll need about 4.
Well, Rob Chudzinski has caught a lot of big passes in his game, but now he's asked to block, and this time he has to double down on Rooks. And he does a good job. You have to be able in this offense when you're a tight end. Hey, you're not real big. Rob's not a big, real huge player, but they asked him to get in somebody's face, and he did a good job right then.
Clock shows 4.5 minutes left in the third period. Canes lead it 23-0. Play action to Johnson. Wants Carroll in the end zone, and that one's overthrown. Now let's see, is Huerta coming on? Yeah, here comes number 27. You know, the point that you make about the pressure, every time Craig has been pressured tonight, with the exception of the third down pass to Chudzinski, where he had him so open, he has not thrown his best passes of the night.
Well, I haven't seen many who do, and that's not any indictment against Craig. I mean, that's just the way the game is nowadays. If you can pressure the quarterback, you can slow him down.
Just a 26-yard attempt, and he's got this one. Carlos Huerta, now 4 of 5 of the night. Their new score, Hurricanes, 26-0.
It's feeding time for the beast in the basement again, and you know what that old furnace is going to do to your utility bills, but you don't have to let that monster upset your budget. Send for Tempstar's Home Comfort Guide. It's free consumer information about the savings you can obtain with a high-efficiency furnace. The Comfort Guide informs you so that you can make the right choice when the time comes to replace old equipment. Before you start that beast in your basement, start something that could save you money every month. The information is free, and so is the call.
MasterCard has something special in store for you this holiday. Master Values. Now use MasterCard and save up to 25% at some of your favorite stores. Save on the latest music at Sam Goody and Music Land. Coats to camcorders at Montgomery Ward, and save on Mattel toys at Toys R Us. Look for Master Values only from MasterCard at these and other fine stores. And master the moment.
So much to do and so little time. When it's time to finance or lease your new GM vehicle, let GMAC do it right in the dealership. GMAC. Nobody wants to put you and GM quality on the road faster. So you'll have time for more important things.
Miami 26-0 with 4:16 remaining third quarter.
Well, you just wonder if Syracuse is going to change gears here and try to throw the ball a little bit. I mean, Rob Carpenter's a real talent out there, Ron, and I would think they're going to try to have to get the ball to him a couple times. Obviously, they're running him. It's just a mismatch for him tonight. 44.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it'll be interesting to see on this series if they do go ahead and say, okay, we're going to change our philosophy. Kadri Ismail, 1 yard deep. Oh, tried to take it back to the inside. Looked as though he had an avenue up the side of the field. And let's go down to the sideline. Dr. Jerry Punch.
Gentlemen, I'm with Mr. James Maryland, one of the proud parents here tonight of some of the seniors of the Miami players, and his son, Russell Maryland, All-American defensive tackle. And Mr. Maryland, your son actually wanted to go to Notre Dame. He wanted to be a Domer, but no one would recruit him, I understand. He said he got a couple of letters from, what, Dartmouth and Cornell?
Well, we got an active recruitment from Indiana State. We had some contact with Stanford and Brown, universities, and of course, Wyoming. After that, nothing.
Now, you called Miami yourself and said, my kid can play football. I want him to be a Hurricane.
That's exactly right. I had sent some information in to the coaches here at Miami, and I made several phone calls on my own. And of course, one of the coaches came up, visited, and luckily recruited Russell.
Well, Russell Maryland, of course, a candidate for the Outland Trophy. Now, the irony here is his dad, Mr. Maryland, is a district sales manager for Chrysler in the Chicago area, and the Outland Trophy is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz, but I'm sure your son's a classic in any route.
That's okay. We will graciously accept the fact that Mercedes-Benz sponsors that trophy. However, Chrysler is still there.
Mr. Maryland here, proudly watching his son, Russell. Gentlemen?
Okay, thanks so much. Doctor, all I can tell you is if he had gone to Notre Dame and been matched with Zorich, that would have been X-rated on defense. Fumble is recovered in the backfield by David Walker.
Russell is also one of the seniors, fifth-year seniors who has graduated. You can see where he gets his sense and common smarts from. I mean, there's a smart guy. He makes sure that he gets his Chrysler pitch in for him.
Well, all dads like to hear about their children, and we went over at practice yesterday. I walked over and shook hands with him and told him I wanted to compliment him on his son because not only a good football player, he's a pretty good student as well and about to graduate. And he bore the big smile as all fathers do, and he said, yes, I am very proud, and he should be. Exemplary on and off the field. Third down. Graves better hurry. Loping for it, and he is going to be tackled at the 22 by Michael Barrow.
There was no one to throw to at that time, but here's the problem that Marvin Graves has had tonight. Look, 3 sacks, been knocked down 5 times, been hurried 9 times. A couple of those fumbles have not been caused, but a couple have also, and he's had 2 passes knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Tough game for Marvin Graves.
And that obviously was not a full speed Marvin Graves. You could see him running with about a half a gait there as far as maybe a little limp. 5 kicks for an average of 42 yards for O'Neal tonight. High spiral's not going to turn over, and Williams will not have a chance to return it. And that one is taking a Miami bounce as a flag is thrown at the 49-yard line. So with 1:41 left in this third period, let's see what that flag is about. The official actually picked it up at the 49, threw it back to the 46.
Yeah, he threw it twice. I wonder if he get a double penalty on it.
Yeah.
Well, I know these gentlemen like to call. You know, they feel as bad about a missed call as anyone else, but that missed call early really changed the tempo of this game.
Tripping against Miami during the kick, being forced from the post-scrimmage kick spot where the kick ended. First down, Miami.
So we'll take a break. Canes 26 and the Orangemen nothing.
Central Florida's new news and entertainment magazine.
The Weekly.
With weekly feature stories about people, issues, and events that affect you in the Central Florida area.
The Weekly.
Orlando happenings with articles on celebrities, lifestyle, and fun.
The Weekly.
Entertaining items like movie reviews, a restaurant guide, and suggestions on things to do and places to go.
The Weekly.
So for weekly features, insight, and information about Orlando and the surrounding areas, pick up
The Weekly.
Central Florida's news and entertainment magazine.
You can smell the bread baking in every Subway store. Just follow your nose.
This week on ESPN Sunday Night NFL, the Seattle Seahawks battle the San Diego Chargers. The Seattle Seahawks have all the weapons needed for a wide-open offense that's just ready to explode. the San Diego Chargers, led by a tenacious, sack-happy defensive front that is poised to strike their AFC West run. The Seahawks face the Chargers, live at 8 Eastern on ESPN Sunday Night NFL.
Mike Patrick and Jill Theismann will have all of that action for you tomorrow evening from the AFC West, San Diego and Seattle. Ron Franklin, Gary Danielson, and Dr. Jerry Punch here at the Orange Bowl. 26-0 our score with 1:41 left in the third quarter. Erickson, ball is tipped, almost intercepted at the 50-yard line. Let's go to Tim Brando for this update.
Ron, in case you missed it earlier today, Minnesota beat Iowa, but Iowa is going to the Rose Bowl where they'll be taking on the Washington Huskies. And the reason we tell you about this is since 1945, when the Big Ten became affiliated with the Rose Bowl, since then, no Rose Bowl Big Ten participant had ever lost 2 of their last 3 games going into the Rose Bowl until today. That from our crack researcher, Howie Schwab, who truly is the man behind this face.
Okay, Washington and Iowa in the Rose Bowl. Erickson dragged down from behind. It's George Rooks. That's the first sack of the night by Syracuse. Jerry, you know the thing that's really spooky about that, if Michigan doesn't kick the field goal at the end of the ball game, Iowa lose. The Fighting Illini would have.
Everybody already had their
sneaked in there.
Everybody in Iowa would have been in trouble. There would have been 100 classified ads selling tickets out to the West Coast because everybody had it booked. You know, you got to give this Syracuse defense credit. You know, the score's 26-0, and Miami's had the ball in great field position, but they haven't put it in the end zone this half. They're fighting hard.
On 3rd down and long, Erickson sets the screen, and he's got Johnson. 35 out to the 41-yard line, and it will be short of the first down as Glenn Young is there to make the defensive play.
Alex Johnson. Young and Conley make the tackle.
Nice zone drops right there. The linebackers kept everything in front of them and then kept containment and forced it in forced Miami to punt.
So Paul Snyder, who has not had to work very much this evening, the punter for the Hurricanes, comes on. Only his 2nd kick of the ball game. And Warren Prisby, number 15, is back as a single safety. And Syracuse looks as though they're coming after it. Nope, they got the return on. Prisby with the fair catch signal, then he makes it at the 16. So again, Syracuse stops Miami from getting into the end zone, but Gary, again, they have very poor field position.
Inside the 20-yard line, you know, it's tough enough to play this team and move it against them anyway, but Miami has not made a mistake in this football game offensively. The thing that has to happen now for Syracuse is they have to understand that this football game is still a test for them. They have to finish it off. It looks like they are going to change quarterbacks here and put Mark McDonald in, hitting 75% of his passes this year. Maybe he can get things going a little bit. Nothing against Marvin Graves, but tonight it's just been too much for him to handle.
Well, the full line and Mark McDonald, he's a junior from Spring, Texas, 6', 198 pounds. He'll throw on first down. Zings it out there, has it complete. That ball was almost intercepted. Out to the 31-yard line. That's the end of the third quarter. So let's take a break.
The bigger than ever, better than ever 1991 Chevy S10 Blazer 4-door.
We wanted a motel, but Dad said camping's a thing. And my brother came along. Yuck!
Now America's best loved sport utility vehicle gives you 25% more cargo room and 100% more doors.
But so did my best friend Linda.
4-door S10 Blazer. Open one up and see why more people are winning with
the heartbeat of America.
Now it's easy to win with the heartbeat.
MasterCard has something special in store for you this holiday. Master Values. Now use MasterCard and save up to 25% at some of your favorite stores. Save on the latest music at Sam Goody and Musicland. Save on top books at B. Dalton Bookseller. Save on Mattel toys at Toys R Us. Look for Master Values only from MasterCard at these and other fine stores. And master the moment.
Fans roll with the clean, fresh taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up, never lets you down.
Coming from Orion Home Video, the future of law enforcement returns.
Take it over, creep.
With a vengeance. RoboPower is back. RoboCop 2, rated R, coming December 13th. Also from Orion, he's irreverent, irrational, and irresponsible. Robin Williams, Tim Robbins.
Hello?
Cadillac Man. Rated R, now available on video cassette.
What do we have? Acute lower abdominal pain.
I don't see any alternative.
I don't either. We have to go in. Have we gotten the parents yet?
I have them on the phone, Doctor. They're out of the country.
Fax them a consent form, stat.
That's the only thing we're waiting on.
I know it.
Okay. I've got it. Any minute. Doctor, I've got the parents' signatures.
Excellent. Here we go.
Dex Facsimile, one of a wide range of business communication solutions from Fujitsu, the global computer and communications company.
26-0, Miami leads as we have the opening play of the fourth period. Let's change something. Danielson and I figuring out during the timeout the difference between 5 and 6. It is Mark McDonald and Marvin Graves. That's the difference. And Marvin is still in the ballgame. But we have an advanced introduction on Mark, should he come into play. Play action by Graves. Has it complete to Hill. And he's down to the 45. 24 yards on that play. And I believe, Elvin, this is only the second time they've been over midfield, isn't it? The third time. I beg your pardon.
And it started out very tough for them. The very first play of the football game, they wanted to run the option there. In this football game, look, he fakes it. The fullback thinks he's not faking it. It's on the ground, and an easy turnover. A score results. And then the big play of the game, as far as I'm concerned, as far as Syracuse is concerned, they have a great play here. Carpenter's in the secondary. The ball is down. They call it a fumble. Miami picks it up and returns it. 10 points on 2 turnovers.
Draw play. 44, Richardson, and he'll take it down to the 41-yard line. By the way, on the fumble that was caused the fumble, that would have been the deepest penetration of the night by Syracuse.
That was really a killer for them because they needed the confidence earlier in the game. They still may be having problems with this team, but they would be in a much better frame of mind. Terry Richardson is the freshman. He's averaging 6.2 yards, and he's got the, the famous 44. A lot of pressure here at Syracuse with that number, but they think he's going to be a great one.
When they give you that one, they expect you to do a little more than just average production. Draw play. Richardson. Nope. Great fake again by Richardson. Now they're going to throw it to him. Catches it, still on his feet, and is knocked out of bounds. That's Barrow, who bumped him out down at the 21.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but they're going to call holding on the play right there, and it's been tough all night. They get some success, and then they turn it over or get the penalty on the play. You're right, it was a great fake. There's 2 parts of a fake, Ron, and half of it is to the running back. The running back takes the ball and runs through the line of scrimmage like that.
Syracuse, repeat second down.
There you see the protection, left side of your screen. He's got him wrapped up. 62 in the white, that's Sims, Turnell Sims, he gets it. Turnell's had a good year for him there this year, though. The senior is all East, just was named last week, and he's 292 pounds, but he had a grab on that play.
You know who else was named to that team was the nose guard, Kevin Mitchell.
Kevin's just a freshman by it, too. That's quite an honor.
2nd and 15, the ball at midfield.
First time we've seen the Bear defense tonight, and Marvin's checking off.
And he's going to go long for Carpenter, and it is knocked away, and that's a really fine defensive play by Robert Bailey.
Well, Marvin Graves has a live arm, and he's a real competitor. But this time he reads it as a blitz. It's not. They come out of the Bear front, and it's just a deep zone. He lets it go. He doesn't follow through real well. But Bailey is just dropping back into the deep zone, and it's like a punt right there. Carpenter has to play defense and break it up, or a ball wouldn't have been intercepted.
down situations, Syracuse is 2 of 9 this evening. Line to pick up is the Miami 35. Marvin going to have to find some place, and he does. Goes to Richardson. Maurice Crum made the tackle on him, and it was Darren Smith who was putting pressure on Graves.
The two freshmen hook up right there. Graves gives a little shake fake, goes up in the pocket, and then he hits Terry Richardson coming across. Terry Richardson's going to be a fine football player. There are some freshman backs in college football this year, I'll tell you. Robert Smith over there. We had a couple of them today watching Michigan, Ohio State. Bruce Hadnot, we saw down at Butch Hadnot, we saw down at Texas this year. These guys are going to be around for a long time.
4th down, Syracuse will go for it. Option pitch. Richardson hurdles the man, and he is not going to have it. Robert Bailey took his feet out from under him, and he'll be a yard short.
Well executed this time. Miami blitzes, but the Miami defensive secondary does the job. There you see Marvin. He pitches the ball off of Rusty Medeiros, and he comes out. Good block by the secondary, but Robert Bailey, you saw him deep, covering Rob Carpenter the play before. This time he stops the option. The Miami secondary is very good tacklers.
Dr. Jerry Punch. Let's get a report from him.
Gentlemen, when defensive tackle Shane Curry transferred here from Georgia Tech, they said it could go either way, and he attributes his success here in Miami to 2 people. Roommate Russell Maryland, who made him the player he is on the field in Miami, and this lady here, Dr. Anna Price, an assistant athletic director in charge of academics. And before the game tonight, they recognized all the seniors here and allowed them to take a parent or some significant other onto the field. Shane Curry asked Dr. Price to be his significant other to go out on the field, said I cannot give her any greater tribute because of what she's done for me academically. And Dr. Price, a tremendous job. You and one student, Shane Curry.
Shane Curry is one of the most talented young men in the classroom that I've ever worked with. He just needed some guidance and somebody to expect him to do something here at the university. His parents have done a tremendous job, and he just needed some base, and he found it in me, and I'm very pleased with that.
Hey, when she came here, guys, in the late 70s, early 80s, a 24% graduation rate for the athletes here. This year, 17 of 17. 100% will graduate from the University of Miami. Ron?
All righty. Wesley Carroll has that completed pass, and he's across midfield. Dan Conley pushes him out.
I tell you, Dan Conley's a great football player, but Dan Conley, the matchup against him and Wesley Carroll, it's just too tough of a matchup for him to handle. You know, as a quarterback, you just look over, you read man-to-man, you just have to go to that matchup. Carroll now 10 catches for 95 yards.
I think young Daniel might see 81 in his sleep tonight. Maybe tomorrow night, too. Erickson has this complete to Hill. Gets to the outside. Now he wants to come back to the middle. And Tim Brando has an update for us. Timmy, what you got going?
Ron, Tulane has not beaten LSU since 1982 in Vince Gibson's last game as head coach of the Greenway. Leading 13-6, Chris Mook finds Marcus Carter for the touchdown to tie the game at 13. WWL Television is reporting that Davis's contract will not be renewed. That has been denied by Chet Gladchuk, by the way, formerly of Syracuse, but apparently there will be a job opening in New Orleans.
Okay, so a couple of changes.
Louisiana.
Down to Louisiana. Shannon Crowell on the carry. Has it inside the 30, down around the 26. LeBaron getting off the bottom of the pile along with Conley.
Conley and LeBaron bring down Crowell.
Number 79, Mike Sullivan, their right tackle at the top of your screen right here. Little run block, and he pushes it outside and does the job. Mike Sullivan has 46 consecutive starts here at Miami. He ties the record tonight, and he'll beat the record in his next game that he starts. Good football player.
And of course, they have one more game. They have 2 more games. They have San Diego State next week, which we'll have here on ESPN. Then they have the Cotton Bowl. Erickson drills the pass complete at the 20. Lamar Thomas was there. Rob Thompson makes the stop for the Orangemen. And let's see, it's going to be shy of the first down. It's going to be 3rd and about 1.
Here's an example of what the spread offense can do. Number 49 is going to come clean from the right side of your screen. But he's disguised and he's coming from so far in the secondary that Erickson still has time to get rid of the ball with a linebacker coming untouched. That's the real strength of this offensive spread set. The thing is, Ron, you have to be good enough to run the ball with the 5 people in there. Miami is.
Crowell down to the 10-yard line. Conley made the tackle, and they're going to spot it just outside the 10. So it'll be first down Miami, and they can pick up a first down without scoring.
Why do I say you have to be good enough to run the ball? Because when these linebackers go and cover the receivers, that opens the holes for guys like Crowell to run in there and run the ball. It's so difficult if you're not able to stop the run with your 6 people up front. If you have to put one of your guys to cover, then it creates the mismatch running the ball.
Crowell, a senior out of Atlanta, 5'11", 200 pounds. Drawn play to him, gets outside at the 5, and he's down to the 3. Dwayne Joseph made the hit on it.
Here's the play that they all run in college football. Almost every team runs it now. They're out backside. Guard and tackle are going to pull. Cristobal and Sullivan. Watch Sullivan, number 79. Last time he kicked him out. This time he rolls him in. Nice read by the back, Shannon Crowell, and he's in for a big play. Boy, that's good line play by a really, really fine offensive tackle.
8th play of the drive coming up. Total yards 371 Miami, 153 for Syracuse. We have 8:20 left to play in the ball game. Boy, does he get belted at the line of scrimmage. Glenn Young, one of the middle backers, sophomore out of Scarborough, Ontario.
Wow. Did he take him on? He didn't even break stride filling that hole that time. This Syracuse defense only has 3 seniors. Conover, outside linebacker Brian LeBaron, and Rob Thompson, their safety. It's going to be a fine football team next year. They've got the most athletic linebackers they've ever had here, and the guys are getting better each game.
Made 4 conversions in a row in 3rd down.
No one's covering Wesley Carroll. There he is.
They go to, and he scored.
Boy, it's easy up here to make the calls, but as a quarterback, your eyes just go to those players, those wide receivers that no one covers. Craig is good enough to do it at the line of scrimmage. That's the real trick. It's easy to do it up here in the stands. He looks around. No one's covering this time. Number 81, Carroll's out there for the easy completion. You could see it all the way from the line time he got up there behind the center. Nobody went out there. Just a mistake.
He caught the back end of that pass, too, didn't he?
Well, there was enough ends fluttering there. He could catch anyone he wanted to.
Huerta with the extra point. And the Canes on top big.
And winds northwest 30 knots, 45 knots. Rain expected to continue till noon here. 5 inches predicted in the 7-county area.
On the road, the Infiniti Q45 becomes a living, breathing thing. You feel it work the wind and seize the road. Feel the embrace of leather and luxury. The rarity of a 278 horsepower V8 engine that was born to run. And begin to understand why Road and Track has named it one of the 10 best cars in the world.
The thirst for adventure is Michelob Dry. Refreshing beyond the ordinary.
And once you've experienced the bold taste with no aftertaste, there is no going back.
ESPN's College Football Saturday, Syracuse at Miami, is brought to you by Infiniti, who invite you to test drive their full line of luxury automobiles. And by Michelob Dry Beer. Once you experience the bold taste with no aftertaste, there's no going back. 7:27 left to play in this one. 33-0. And Huerta kicks that one out of bounds, so they'll do it all over again from the 30. That's one of the few errors that we have seen him make. You remember what he was doing up in Provo? He's a very cerebral young fellow, great sense of humor, but he was terribly concerned about altitude, and the wind was bothering him. And on a Friday, which is normally a very light practice, he stayed out 30 minutes after everybody else left and continued to work on his kickoffs.
He's going to fit in with all the kickers in the NFL some days, because those guys are just as weird, I'll tell you.
Boy, he is a good one. Broke the NCAA record, in case you joined us late, of consecutive points after.
I'll tell you, that was impressive. That 52-yarder he hit was impressive. That hit the screen, and that's a good 15 yards behind that goalpost back there. That was good, as you said, from at least 10 yards further back.
Ismail from the 8. That is great coverage for the special teams at Miami. And let's go back down to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Gentlemen, one of the unsung heroes here of this Miami Hurricane team the past few years is Dr. John Uribe, team orthopedic surgeon. He's sort of what they call the Humpty Dumpty Brigade. He puts them together piece by piece every year. And last year, he's the guy that kept them together for a national championship. And again, Mike Sullivan, 46 consecutive games over 4 years. And you have to be given a lot of that credit for putting him back together. I understand he missed 2 days in the hospital prior to the Notre Dame game, but you got him ready to play.
Well, he's a tough kid. I mean, he's had some tremendous injuries, and I'll tell you, he's just a kid that plays with full desire. But he had a minor back problem with a disc, and with some good therapy and some rest, he just goes. He's a machine. He's a great kid, and all of them are. We've had some bad injuries. Unfortunately, we've never lost a player to an injury, and that's kind of kept the confidence in the medical staff up. And we're really lucky. We have great trainers, great therapists, and that's what it takes. And it's a great team.
There are men like this all around the country. Dr. Freddie Fu at Pittsburgh, Will Yergler at Notre Dame, and many, many more who keep these teams together week after week. Ron?
Okay, thanks so much, Doctor. A lot of folks behind the scenes in college football.
And I'll tell you, this offensive line here for Miami, they've been together for a long time. The seniors there, you see Cristobal, but the offensive line has been intact. They have started every game. 73, Searcy, Jones, number 70. Handy, number 66. Cristobal, 59, and Sullivan, 79. Have started every game.
Offside's called on this one, so he's going to do it again. He's getting a lot of work. This time from the 25, and it's Ismail again. Ismail runs into his own man, and he brings it out close to midfield.
I think this Miami football team, every time they watch Ismail return one of those kicks, they remember what the Rocket did to him and almost knocked him out of the championship.
Well, a decade of excellence, 3 national titles in the 80s, 7-0 against #1 teams. Over 83% winning percentage. That's the second best, and a home record of 55-6. And as we mentioned off the top of the telecast, this group of seniors has never lost here in the Orange Bowl. By the way, Carroll now has 11 catches. That ties his career best. Marvin Graves. Boy, does he get belted. Pass is thrown complete. Marvin went down under a heavy rush. Russell Maryland was one of those coming in.
You know, you have to think of another thing, too, about Marvin Graves in this football game. This is going to help him in his future to play against a football team like this and hang in there play after play. I'm sure Coach McPherson said, get out there. You're my quarterback in the future. Get out there and play some football and learn what it's like to play in a game when you're behind against a very good football team. Show these guys you're a leader and you can stay in there and take these hits.
Russell Maryland runs right by the quarterback. Pass is thrown complete to Walker. Wow, what a hit at the 20. That's Darrell Williams. 25 yards in the pass play.
Marvin Graves was again under pressure on this pass, but he felt the pressure, and instead of flying to the outside, he goes up and hits him. And what a hit Darrell Williams, number 31, the outstanding free safety from Miami, just a sophomore, put on him. And McKinnon did a good job just holding on to the ball that time. Or was it Walker? I'm sorry. Walker did a good job of holding on to the ball.
It's the deepest penetration to the Orangemen tonight. The Miami 20. Option play, Graves will keep it. And not for very far. Let's go back to Tim Brando for this update.
Gentlemen, Lou Holtz culminates a 15-play drive. 13 of the plays were on the ground. Out of the wishbone, Meyer with the option to Tony Brooks. He gets in from a yard away. The Trojans were leading 6-3. It is now a 10-6 Irish lead in the fourth quarter. Back to Ron, Gary, and Dr. Jerry Buck.
Our score, 33-0, Miami. Clock runs with 5:20 left in the ball game. Option to the other side as the pitch comes to Walker. Waits for his block, and he's going to make it to the 13-yard line. It'll be third down, and they'll still need about 3. Ryan McNeil, a sophomore from Fort Pierce, Florida, is in the ball game, and he made the stop.
The key to option football is walling off the backside. Here you see Marvin. He fakes, he comes out, and he does it perfectly. He pitches on the defensive end. Look at the great play you had, but watch from the left side of your screen. You're going to see the shirts coming in, and they're all going to be from the backside of that Miami defense. In fact, the last one you come in, number 98 there is Rusty Medeiros. He's the opposite field end who ran across the field. Great speed from that Miami defense.
Walker 8 carries for 36 yards. Pitch comes to Walker, turns it inside. It is 1st and goal, Syracuse at the 4. Robert Bailey made the hit, but not soon enough.
Well, there you see Dick. He was going to put the short yardage offense in, but he said, I'm not as close as I think. Maybe I better just keep the guys out there and just run my regular offense. Usually you go to your goal line offense about the 2 or 3 yard line. They're still the 4. There's a little bit too close to go to that short yardage offense.
Touchdown, Graves.
Well, for the first time running the option, he's going to be able to duck up inside of it. Fakes this time. Everybody a little bit over, pursues it. He's into the end zone. I don't see if you can be able to see on the left side of your screen after the option, you're going to see a personal foul penalty. It happens beyond the play, and it's a dead ball foul, but the nice touchdown running in on the option right there.
And a personal foul is against Miami.
Now, see, Syracuse has the option here. They can take the ball closer to the goal line, or they can kick it off after the extra point. They can go for 2.
So they'll go for the extra point here, and then probably utilize the 15-yard penalty for an onside kick or a squib.
That's the strategy there. That's what he's going to do. He's going to take it now, and he's going to probably try the onside kick. Very smart play.
John Biscup, first opportunity for John tonight since O'Neal handles the kickoff. Extra point attempt is up and good. So 3:52 left in the ball game, but it's Hurricanes 33 at Syracuse 7.
Before they could walk, they wanted to dance. Before they could talk, they wanted to sing. But they needed a lot of heart and desire before they could get to Broadway and make it on a chorus line. Now this Broadway legend is back and on tour. But if you want tickets, get to the box office early and get out your Visa card. Because this show won't be in town long, and it won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
As a kid in business, I learned the meaning of a buck 1 penny at a time. Hey, it was my money, and it still is. So when I need wheels on business today, I go to Thrifty. At Thrifty Car Rental, a Chrysler 5th Avenue, safety equipped with an airbag is just $39.95 a day. Who says you can't mix business with pleasure? It's the only way to go.
Thrifty Car Rental, because it's your money.
When creating the new G20 midsize luxury sedan from Infiniti, these were just a few of the amenities we kept in mind. Seating surfaces that are fitted with leather, a cabin that heightens the level of comfort and stretches the limits of space. Of course, with 16 valves and 140 horsepower, that mind also has an alter ego.
Just under 4 minutes to play in the Orange Bowl tonight, and number 2 Miami having it just about any way they want. 33-7 our score. And John Biscup is going to come out to kick this one off, and probably the reason for this. Normally O'Neal handles the kickoffs, but Biscup is in there for the onside kick.
And they're not even trying to hide it. They just put the other 8 guys outside the hash. This is the one I don't get right here, though. I think I saw him do this before. They must practice it, and they must want to do this for some reason, but he doesn't take the whole field. You would think they'd want to get it as far over as they could.
Gary, look how he has the ball on the tee as well. It's almost
flat. He's going to make it go over, end over end.
And it's going to be recovered by Miami at the 41-yard line. And Dr. Jerry Punch is down on the Syracuse sideline. Let's go to him.
Gentlemen, the game may be out of hand as far as Syracuse is concerned, but Coach Mack, ever the educator here on the sidelines, telling his kids that in order to be number 1 or number 2 in the country, this is what you must be. Look at Miami. Watch what they do. They're an experienced ball club. We're rebuilding. That's what he told them at halftime. We'll go out, we'll play our best, we'll play our hearts out. We may not have the points, but we'll learn a lot tonight here on a field with one super collegiate football team. Ron?
Okay. I'll tell you what surprises me right now is number 7, Craig Erickson, has just come back out on the field, and with 3:45 left in a 33-7 game, Dennis would not forgive himself if something happened to his starting quarterback. A little surprised, aren't you?
Let's hope that he's just going to maybe take the seniors off the field to a little bit of an ovation.
Well, good point.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt a little bit for a while.
259 yards so far for Craig. This is Alex Johnson. He gets tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Wentworth had pushed Sullivan back, and he was tripped up over Sullivan's feet. And now here come just a bunch of replacements in, and maybe that's exactly what's going to happen.
There you see it. The seniors get, all the first teamers get to end on the field. They're going to walk off. The crowd's going to give them a hand. Great feeling.
Yep, and you're right. It looks like Toretta is up on the sideline. See if Gino's not about to come into the ball game.
You just can't imagine the type of career these guys have had. Going to college, you're here for 5 years. You get one last somersault coming off, and the lowest you've finished is number 2 in the national rankings. Incredibly 5-year run these guys have had.
Twice number 1, twice number 2. And they're back in the hunt again this year.
Well, you know what's so amazing? After that loss to Notre Dame, they were down a little bit. But all 7 teams that were ahead of them when they went down to 8th rated in the year have lost since that Notre Dame game. So they've got life by the people just above them losing.
I'll tell you about the young man who's coming in. We saw him last year when Craig had injured the knuckle on his passing hand. Gino Toretta is a sophomore from Pinole, California, 6'3", 211 pounds. And he had to go against the Seminoles last year up in Tallahassee.
We're going to
see his season numbers.
We're going to get a look at a good football game next week, too. Again, I'll tell you.
Florida State, yep. Toretta's pass, incomplete.
Now, see, this doesn't bother me at all, because now they're saying, what are you throwing for? It's 33-7. But these are the backups. Gino needs time to play. If Craig goes down in the next game, Gino needs the reps. This is good. I like this. They're getting their backups in, and they're running their regular offense.
That stopped the clock with 3:22 remaining. We mentioned Florida State next week. That's the second game of the doubleheader. The first game will be the Miami Hurricanes against San Diego State. That one beginning at 4 Eastern time. Coretta has it complete. Darrell Spencer, the sophomore from Merritt Island, takes it inside the 45. Well, in back-to-back national championships, these are the teams that have done it. Can Miami sneak in there?
Well, they have
the right things have to happen.
They have an opportunity, and I think one of the things that's going to help them is they're going to be playing a good football team again, the Cotton Bowl. If they win that game against Texas, that'll help them. And should Colorado stumble against Notre Dame, a game they could lose. I mean, Notre Dame's a good football team with a healthy Rocket.
Notre Dame could lose tonight. Running play will go for very short yardage. That's Shannon Crowell.
The 43-yard line.
Clock runs with 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Yeah, if Notre Dame does beat Colorado. Exactly. Mario Cristobal, who's the brother of Luis, comes out of a stance. So 5 yards marked off against the Hurricanes coming up.
False start. Miami. Still second down.
There you go. He's the man. You heard him say it right then. He's the man. You know, when we saw him yesterday at practice, he said, I appreciate you saying all those nice things about my son. And I said, you know, it's easy to talk about nice people.
Coretta goes with a running play. Jim Wentworth will step up and make the tackle on Crowell. It'll be 3rd down. Well, CFA football next week. Number 2 Miami against San Diego State. That's at 4 o'clock Eastern time. And then our ball game next week will be in Tallahassee, Florida. Remember what happened last year? Oh my goodness. It was a war on the field and in the stands. Well, next Saturday night, 7:30 Eastern time. And Luis Cristobal,
you know, you got
signing some autographs.
You know, you got it salted away when you can sign autographs during the game.
Pass is caught at the 30, and still on his feet to the 20-yard line is Bobby Bird. That's good for 25 yards.
These are the future players. These are the guys that are going to be playing. If anybody goes down, they're working hard. They like some playing time too. They play behind some great players. There's the bookends. These guys have lined up together. Chudzinski and Sullivan, the tight end and the tackle. Hey, get a little ice cup. And Craig Erickson, you know, we saw him in that first game. He was so down after that football game. I went in the locker room and talked to him. I said, hang it up. Keep your head up. He's going to come back to you. You're going to get another chance, and he's made the most of it.
Crowell comes out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 35 seconds left.
2nd down and 6.
Well, if you look ahead to what is going to happen in the Big East, looking at what has happened in 1990, Miami has outscored its Big East opponents 120-18 this year.
I wonder if that's little brother. A future tackle. I know he'd rather play quarterback or something. You know, when you're that age, everybody's a quarterback.
33-7. Canes on top. Crowell again weaves his way for a couple, now 3. Glenn Young is on the bottom of the stack as some of the players continue to talk after the play is over, and it looks like that's going to be about the last one.
Well, Marvin will learn from nights like this. He has to play, and this is the type of competition he's going to play. When Miami gets in that Big East, he's going to have to gear up this football team to play against teams like the Miami Hurricanes.
The number 2 ranked Miami Hurricanes win, and win convincingly over the Syracuse Orangemen 33-7 at the Orange Bowl tonight.
Once again, the final score, the Hurricanes 33, the Orangemen 7.
take a break. We'll come back and wrap this one up in just a moment.